This is Terry. This is Rosemary with Frost Bank.
Hey, WBK in the house. Rap star boxing knowledge. Hey, so I just wanted to touch on this subject quickly with the Conor Ben and Formella fight. Sebastian Formella, not any mainstream or much media or even social media or YouTube boxing platforms are covering this fight. But you know what, Conor Ben? I'm going to cover this fight because I've been watching you as a little kid. And I've seen Conor Ben coming from a very good boxing fraternity. His dad is a proper legend in the game in England. His dad was one of the old time greats, you know what I mean? And his dad had knockout power, man. He might not have been the best boxer in the world, but trust me, Nigel Benn was one of the best, hardest boxers that you could have ever got out of England. The man had a punch which would take down a mule. And Conor Ben has the DNA of his father. And Conor Ben has been doing pretty well in boxing, in British boxing. You know, he's been doing really, really well domestically. And I've been sharing his name out there in different platforms, in different countries. I've been speaking about this fight because, as we know, Sebastian Formella had a great fight. Well, not actually a great fight, but he lasted his distance with Sean Porter. And the fight that he had with Sean Porter went unanimous decision. And when I watched that fight, I did, let's be frank about it, mate. You know, Sean Porter was bullying Formella for most of that fight. And Sean Porter's work rate, and Sean Porter was the more aggressor in that fight. And Sean Porter basically won majority rounds in that fight. But let's not forget, Sean Porter didn't drop Formella. Formella was getting his ones and twos in certain rounds. Formella was touching Sean Porter up. He was giving him ones and twos here and there. You could see flush shots connecting, but they weren't really hurting Porter. But at least they were scoring some points. And Formella went all the distance with a great Sean Porter, and everybody knows how good Sean Porter is. So, like I said, I'm from London, and this is the reason why I started my channel, because I never saw a lot of respect for the British fighters around the whole globe of the social media, especially in the YouTube platforms of boxing. And YouTube YTBC has become really big in, just covering fights, media on YouTube, media on Instagram, just everywhere. And I started covering my own channel because I started to think, well, I covered the rest of boxing, and I especially cover boxing from England. So my main objective here is to speak about the fighters in England that people are not really speaking about worldwide. But Conor benn, I'm going to tell you right now, bruv, you've got a great, great chance of getting yourself in the world rankings. This is your time to shine. Conor benn, you need to go in there and do a job on Formella. If you could do a better job on Sebastian Formella, better than Sean Porter did, you don't know. I've already got so many people in America speaking about this fight, and they are really watching this fight. So I'm gonna let you know, bruv. You've got to go in there and do a good job with Sebastian Formella. And if you do a great account of yourself, or you even stop him, you're gonna see your name getting spoken about all over the globe. Because already a lot of Americans are going to be tuning in on this fight because they know Sean Porter went the distance against this dude, Sebastian Formella. So I want you to get ready, Conor benn. Pull those socks up. Get ready to ride that flag for England. And you better go and do a job on Sebastian Formella, bro. Go do yourself proud, man. Go do the country proud. We're right behind you. Because if you get this job done, mate, I'm telling you, me old China, everybody's going to be speaking about you, Conor. This is your time to shine, bruv. Yeah? You got to go in there and do a job on Sebastian Formella, bruv. Better than Sean Porter. And I'm really expecting that from you. And I hope you get this job done. So I'm just hoping that everybody's tuning in for the Sebastian Formella and Conor benn fight, which is going down this Saturday. And it's going to be, I think, on Sky Sports. So let's get cooking. Because I'm telling you, Conor benn, I'm riding with you, bruv. I've been watching you for a long time since you've been a kid. And I've been watching your dad when I was a little kid. And we know your dad's a legend, but it's not about your dad. You got to go out there and prove yourself now. Prove your name. Prove your worth. You've got a good chance to go in there and do a really great job. Get yourself in the world rankings, bruv. Even Sean Porter's going to be watching this fight. So I want you to go in there and do a job. Let's get speaking about you. Let's get all these London fighters out there, man. That's what I want to do. I'm out here riding with all the fighters from England, the ones that the ones that need to be heard. I'm out there putting your name out there. So come on, son. Don't let me down. I want you to go in there and do a great job. You know, just do a great job on this guy. Don't get too excited. Don't get emotional in the ring. We want you to be focused. Keep yourself, focused in the fight. Keep your guards up. And then when it's your time, mate, I really want you to put a number on this kid. And if you can put a number on this kid, Conor, I'm telling you, the whole of the world, we're speaking your name a little bit. You'll be in the world rankings. America's tuning in onto this fight, and America's actually, I got them speaking about Conor Ben for the first time. They're tuning in, and they don't really know who Conor Ben is in the United States, but they will know who he is if you put a good account of yourself on this opponent that Sean Porter went unanimous decision with, and that's going to do you good, mate. And I'm going to tell you why. If you put a good account of yourself against this guy that Sean Porter didn't even stop or didn't even drop, and if you stop him, I'm telling you this, you in the game. You in the game, mate. You stop this kid, you in the game, mate. They're going to be fucking speaking about you. And I'm telling you now, all the welterweights will be looking at you because they know this young boy's coming up now because you came over there and did a job better than what Sean Porter did. But let me just check what's going on here. Get the smoke is in the house, bro. Get the smoke is in the house. And I'm sure he knows, man. I'm covering this fight for England. So, we cover all fights. Get the smoke. We're into all the fights, bruv. But yeah, mate, I hope everybody's watching this fight in America. I just want everybody to tune in to the Conor Ben Sebastian Formella fight. Hopefully, Conor Ben will go in there and put a great account of himself, and hopefully, he'll stop him. And if he stops him, mate, I'm going to be speaking about you, Conor. We're going to be going to all the different platforms, and people will know you're in the game, not just in London, son. You're talking about United States. But let me just send this out there. Give me a second, boys. Give me a second, boys and girls. To all my boxing friends. Right. So, yeah, like I said, so we've got Tom Little and I can't pronounce that dude's name. Bavik? Bavik? Something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Not good with that dude's name. Give me a sec. Yeah, so we got Tom Little and Bavik on that card as well for heavyweight. And I gotta tell you, boys, Conor McGregor's, he's headlining his own card. So, I mean, Conor Ben, sorry, what am I talking about? Conor Ben he's headlining his own card, and I gotta tell you, he's got a good chance to make some noise. He's got a really good chance to shine here, and if he does it, and they're gonna be saying this kid's meant to be. He's meant to be, and I'm telling you now, you be looking at having some great fights soon. Yeah, Babbitt, Alan Babbitt versus Tom Little is the undercard. Conor Ben and Sebastian Formella is the main attraction. But yeah, it's gonna be a good card. I'm telling you. Just give me a sec. What's up, Smoke?
What's
What
up,
up,
bro?
Smoke?
Hey, what's happening, man? How you feeling this morning? All right, this
Hey,
afternoon. All right, is it? Wait a minute, you're 8 hours ahead. It's almost noon.
yeah. This morning I was having a nap. I wanted to cover this fight quickly so that people can kind of like get ready to watch it because there's hardly any mainstream or any media or anything on the YouTube circuit. So I have to share this fight because this kid comes from London where I'm at, and I used to watch his dad a lot. How do you feel about this fight, Smoke?
Um, I am. I mean, I could see how for you it is a more important fight, right?
Mm,
So his dad was involved in one of the fights that actually transformed the way I feel about boxing in the Nigel Benn Gerald McClellan fight. Absolutely, Hall of Fame fight, legendary fight. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But Conor, I remember, he's a young kid. I remember him coming over to the States a few years back, and it was an okay performance. He got the W, but it wasn't as it wasn't what I don't think it's what his handlers hoped. I think they thought he'd come in and do a better and have a more spectacular performance. Um, he's still a young guy. Sebastian Formella is a journeyman. Nigel Benn seems like a gatekeeper because he's been around for so long,
Yeah,
but
but
he's
Sebastian
actually
Formella's only lost one fight,
yeah, I know it's
and
the
he's never lost any other fight ever.
yeah it that you know you remember how Tom Schwartz was an undefeated fighter, how they were
Yeah,
talking about him being an undefeated fighter,
yeah,
and Otto Wallin and all this stuff. Like, that's cool. You're undefeated. It's because you haven't fought anybody. And when you did
yeah. I
fight
mean, he
somebody,
hasn't fought anybody in the top 10, but he was fighting people at 15, 17,
that's
21,
that's what
18.
I'm saying. And
But
that's
what
and
we gotta recognize is I've got friends which are subscribed to me, and they won't mind me calling them journeymen. But journeyman is when they've come out of amateur late, and they've come out in the professional rankings after 28, and some of them are like 7 losses and 1 win, 19 losses and 1, 2 wins.
yeah,
That really is what we call a journeyman in
well,
England.
okay, right. So there's that part of it, right? There's a part of it when you were something and then you weren't anything. But there's also a journeyman that wasn't ever anything, whether they won something or not won something, right? And it's more like that. It's more like you've had enough fights that you should be either a contender or at least a prospect, and you're not any of those things, right? But anyway, but that's it. But let's
But
say
his
he's not
his
a
chance to
journeyman.
glory,
Let's say he's not.
I wanna
Let's say
just get you. I wanna just make sure you're up to date with Sebastian Formella. His chance to glory was in the IBF rankings for the title eliminator with Sean Porter. So he actually made it to a title eliminator, but lost that fight with Porter. So if you think
yeah.
about it, he was a contender or a prospect, but he just actually lost it all to Sean
So
Porter.
I'm down. I'm down with saying that he could be a contender, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He could
yeah.
be. He could be a contender, but I mean, he could be a prospect. He could be a contender, but he could be a journeyman, right? He could be all of
He
those
could
things.
only be a journeyman if he loses 7, 8 fights in a row and then he just sticks around. That's it.
Not really. Not. But that's cool. I mean, I understand what you're saying about that whole thing.
Yeah, and
But
I'm just saying it as how people see it in England.
okay.
Like,
Yeah, all right.
in the
Fine. Fine.
circuit of boxing, when you say journeyman, the man's really got an 85% record of losing, you know?
Okay. All right. And I get that. And I get that. Right. So um let me be you know what, forget it. Let's call him a contender. Let's not call him a journeyman for this.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
call him
because
let's
otherwise you're making Sean
let's call
Porter
him
look really bad. Because Sean Porter went unanimous decision with the dude.
yeah, because Sean, and that was really bad. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try to pump up Sean Porter behind that. It was not that
yeah.
great a performance, and it made Sean Porter look like he can't actually win a championship fight.
Facts.
Um, but whatever. But that's neither here nor there. Let's
Right.
say for a guy who's 24 years old, right?
I
That
think he's
that
23. And I just want him to go in there and see if he can just do a way better job than Sean Porter. And that will put a lot of noise and that'll put a lot of attraction because I've got shows like D. Jefferson, shows like Punch, and all these shows actually spoke about him. So they're watching this fight for the first time because Formella went all rounds with Porter.
that's cool. That's cool. Whatever hype Conor gets, it's all good. It
Yeah.
just seems like uh, because we've known his dad and we've known Conor for so long, that he's been around the game for so long, that you'd expect him to be in a different place until you look at how old he is. Is really my point. He's still a young kid, even
Yeah.
though he's got a lot of experience, right? And he has a name. So it's one of those fights where we get to see the progression of Conor Ben. Um, but yeah, I think, as far as this being the biggest fight of his career so far, I think that's probably the case against the most experienced guy, right? I can't think of
Yeah.
who he's been in with before. Like, it sounds like,
Well,
if I remember correctly.
he's been with a couple of guys, Steven Jamayo or somebody, but nobody you probably know of. He's got 7 losses and 21 wins. He's been in with another guy, 22 wins and 2 losses. But he's got a good momentum, Smoke.
Yeah,
He's been knocking them out. The last 2 fights, he knocked them clean out.
yeah. I remember him having like he's already had, if I remember correctly, he's had a rematch with a domestic level fighter already.
Yeah.
So that's not the greatest, right? So, but the guy was thrown in. He's thrown in the deep end to try to swim because of his dad's name. I
Fact.
want to see the fight. I'm very interested in the fight. Babbage, I think we just saw fight.
What about the undercard? Let's go to the undercard quickly. Barrett, Tom Little versus Barrett.
Yeah, Babbage, we just saw fight, I believe. And Tom Little, it's been a minute, but again, a guy who I think makes noise over in England, but not really. No one's really checking for Tom Little on the world scene, right?
No one is, yeah.
So
I mean, he's a journeyman.
yeah,
He's a real journeyman. If you really want to know the truth.
yeah.
And
I mean, Babbage.
Yeah.
It's a good fight. I think it's really all about Conor. It's really this entire thing. Formella is a good opponent to get Conor's name out there as a real contender, right?
Yeah.
If he beats this guy, he's a real contender. He's no longer in the prospect phase, and he's a legitimate contender.
Yeah, I mean, to be really honest with you, right? Let's just go quickly on this. I've got to touch on this Conor benn thing quickly one more time. If he stops this dude, people are going to be talking about him, all right? And this is his time to shine. And I'm going to be hard on him, being from like London. I'm not going to make it easy on him. He has to go in there and put a proper destructive performance on this dude. Because if he doesn't, then he don't belong in the world level. That you know what I mean? He's got to do this in his prime. This is 24 years old. He's going to be, and he's been in the game for a while. There's no excuses for him not to go in there, and he's got raw power. Well, I got to see, and I'm going to put a statement down. I want to see him stop this dude because just of his age, his momentum. He's got 2 knockouts, and I want to then talk about him and say, you know what, we can put him in with somebody like maybe Lipinez or. Who's the guy who drawed with Lipinez not long ago? I forgot his name. Who's the guy who drawed with Green Machine? The one with Crawford.
Oh, you're talking about Ray Robinson.
Yeah,
you don't want him there. No.
I want to start promoting him to start fighting in the top 10 of the IBF or WBA or WBC. I need him to get into the rankings, so I have to promote him in one of those fights. And
but you like Ray Robinson. You don't go from Formella to Robinson. I don't. I mean, you got to let him. I got to see the fight because Ray Robinson can be an upset. Like he's still a young kid. I don't know that Conor benn is ready for that kind of leap. Ray Robinson can really fight for real. Like
Ray
Robinson got stopped by
Ray Robinson's number 8 in some of the rankings, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's ranked. That Ugas fight, he got stopped in. It was a real good fight. The Green Machine, Aegis Kilgoski.
Yeah. I can't pronounce that guy's name.
Yeah, whatever his name, however you pronounce that dude's name. I think he actually was gifted that draw against Ray Robinson. I think Ray Robinson actually won that fight. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
No. You know what? That's about 2 fights away for where I want to promote him to be. If he knocks this dude out or stops him or at least beats him in good fight.
Yeah. You want to give Ray Robinson has been in there with some guys, and this will be the first real guy. And Formella can't really crack like that. He's all right, but whatever. He's at. Sean Porter was hopping all around that ring. He wasn't really sitting down on his punches. He was like sometimes even hitting the guy with his feet, not even attached to the canvas. He was like in the air hitting the guy. So I would definitely like to see what happens when Conor benn sits down and punches and hit this dude.
Yeah, but Sean Paul was really like trying to be aggressive with this guy Formella, and he was really, really trying his hardest to knock him out at some point, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, but even in his trying to knock him out, it's not like he took any chances, right? He was just like in and out and taking what Formella gave him, right? He wasn't really trying to like let me sell out, let me take some risk in order to get this guy out of here.
But did you watch the fight properly? Because there were a couple of shots. Sean Porter landed flush, and I was surprised that boy was still there.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. That's what I mean. Like Sean Porter wasn't sitting down on his shots. He was hitting them clean, and he was hitting them even clean with some power shots. But he was like hopping around, like he just wasn't committing to the knockout. That's my whole only point. It's not like he wasn't trying to hit him with shots. It's that he didn't commit to the knockout. I'm not sure that he would have got it even if he did commit to it. But Yeah, I think Conor Ben is going to go in there and try to knock the guy out. And if he does that, I think he should have another guy that's on the Formella level, if not a little bit better. Somebody who's been in there with people, but having like an Ivan Redcatch,
Yeah, that's a good one.
something like that. Do that. Build your way up into a Ray Robinson, so you can deal with somebody who actually knows his way around the ring. Because Formella, from what I could tell, isn't that proficient an operator in there.
Yeah, it's Ivan Redcatch, welterweight, right?
Yeah, he fought Garcia last.
I'm surprised Terence Crawford hasn't bring him out because he can't get opponents and he's fighting all these C-class fighters, isn't he? I'm surprised
Yeah,
he
but
didn't fight him.
at least he's fighting like former champions, right? Former champions and champions, and yeah, the Green Machine was a mandatory, like you get a mandatory in there. But there's nobody that he can fight. Like all the welterweights are on PBC. So unless you're gonna be over there fighting, then you got the top seven. You got the current three champions. Terence Crawford outside of that, but you got the former three champions and Garcia, Porter, and and uh and Garcia, Porter, and Thurman, right? You got those guys, and then you have Manny and Ugas and Mikey and Lipinets. Like all those guys are over at PBC, right? So even if he gets past his guys, right, I wouldn't even put him in with Lipinets, but that'd
No,
be a good fight.
Lipin is ahead of Conor Ben at the moment.
Yeah, but that's it. But that's where he should be heading, right? He should be heading for not like a Ugas, like nothing like that. He should be heading for a Lipinets fight, and he should go like two or three. He's like 2 or 3 fights away from Lipinets.
Yeah, I like the opponent you mentioned with Ivan Redcatch. I like that opponent for Conor Ben. I think that's a good step up that builds you to fight someone like Ugas or someone like that later. Maybe get another opponent like that. And then maybe if he comes true with that and starts showing that he's a bit more stronger and very powerful in those fights, then I can start pronouncing those fights like we said with Ray Robertson or the guy that Mean Machine or Lipinez. These are fights that he can have later on in 2022, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like maybe work your way up to a Josecito Lopez.
Yeah, even Lopez. That's a good fight. If
Yeah,
he could,
work your way through that ranks to get some guys who used to be something. First you work through the guys that basically the old champs have worked their way through. The Porter, whoever Porter, the Garcia's leftovers. Then you get through Thurman's leftovers, and then you like take a shot at a Lipinets.
even maybe call out an older Andre Berto still active, right?
Yeah,
He's still
yeah,
active. Luis Colazo still active. These are fighters from back in the day, right? Just use
yeah,
them as their resume.
yeah. Jesse Vargas.
Yeah,
You know,
That's a good one. That's a good one. I
you
think
know,
he can get the Jesse Vargas fight because Jesse Vargas signed to DAZN and Eddie Earn, right?
yep.
Yeah,
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 like
that's a good one.
work your way there. Like actually, Ben versus Jesse Vargas. When we think that Ben can win that fight, it's a heck of a fight.
Hey, that's a good fight. Hey, that's a really good fight. If Conor Ben goes in and deals with this dude, Sebastian Formella, I don't mind seeing Jesse Vargas and Conor Ben. But I think Ivan Redcatch is better because I still think Jesse Vargas is that slight better than Ivan
Yeah,
Redcatch.
that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like two or three fights. Like the fight that's going to be his breakout fight before you get to the guys who you could challenge for like one of these regular titles.
Yeah,
Get yourself a Red Cash, get yourself a Colazzo.
yeah, for sure. Well, I'm gonna be I mean on the undercard, I'm going for a third round knockout. That's what I'm going for, or second round knockout. I don't think that Tom Little is going to be able to take that guy's power for sure. I'm putting money on that one, dude.
Yeah, that Babbage fight. What was it? Was that on the? I think it was on the Dillian White Povetkin undercard. I don't know. He like went 3 with some dude. It's a terrible fight. But Babbage looks like he can crack a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, these are some of the domestic fights we have right now in this COVID. We ain't open like you guys. You guys have got Texas going, Vegas going. I think you got New York going, and we're just stuck in this COVID, man. It's a fucking lockdown, Smoke. We're not even going to these fights, man. They're just right now everything's locked down, so they're making what they can, you know.
Yeah, you guys got the Matchroom Square Garden over there.
Yeah, I mean, we've done what we've got to do, right, to keep it going. But hey, we got the Joe Joyce Daniel Dubois too. Don't forget, that's the
Yeah,
week
we've been
after.
waiting for that one for a minute.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a good one. Joe
Yeah,
Joyce Daniel Dubois. That's going to be a good domestic fight
yeah,
for sure.
I'm thinking of switching my pick. Like COVID actually postponing that one, and we both saw him get touches in. I think Joe Joyce actually did a better job and looked a lot better than Dubois. So going into COVID, I was thinking Dubois would win that one, but now coming out of COVID, I'm thinking I think Joyce might get that one.
Why? Why? Could you break down why you changing your mind?
Yeah, Dubois just looks really sloppy. He looks really sloppy and really unpolished and really green. Whereas Joyce, he might be slow as hell, but he just seems to have his game a little bit to get more together than Dubois.
Who do you think's the stronger fighter?
Who I think is a stronger fighter?
Mm,
Joe Joyce. I think Dubois has a bigger upside, but he just isn't there yet. I think he just needs a lot more polishing. But if he can get past Joe Joyce, then cool. Yeah, kudos to him. I think that if he does get past Joe Joyce, we'll see something from Dubois that we have never seen before.
would you rate him highly if he stops Joe Joyce?
If he stops Joe Joyce, I don't know that I would. I mean, I would say that it answers some questions about his power, but I think he has the power anyway. But I think that would
Okay.
confirm some things. But I think that it's his actually. I think it's his technique. He's just like really sloppy to me. That it's not so much about whether or not I doubt his power, right? But if you stop a Joe Joyce, you definitely have some power.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look. At the end of the day, that's. I mean, that's cool, man. You got to change your mind. I don't blame you. A lot of people are on the fence. A lot of people are 50-50. Some people think Joe Joyce is 35. Daniel Dubois got a good pedigree. There's a lot of things saying, in the inside of the world of boxing that he stopped people like Anthony Joshua in sparring, and these things are true. They've took, all the footage. There's no footage about this, but that's because when that happened, things happened in that gym and security was there. So, they had to make sure they deleted all this stuff. But what I'm saying there's a true story saying that, this man's got the truth. He's got a lot of power in this, and he's done it in sparring too with elite fighters. And
Yeah,
they're
but
all,
I mean that goes down in sparring. I'm not really gonna put a whole lot on it. I mean that's nice that you made a name for yourself in sparring, but
mm,
way back in the day, Hergovic cut David Hayes' eye in sparring. Nobody thinks that Hergovic would have beat David Hayes like 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, however long ago that was.
yeah.
And then also you had Dwayko talking about like there was rumors that Adam Dwayko gave AJ a concussion in sparring. Nobody thinks Adam Dwayko can beat AJ, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, I'm just saying though, the power's meant to be real, if that makes sense. Just know
Yeah,
that the
listen,
power's meant to be real.
if he stops Joe Joyce, then definitely because Joe Joyce is a human tank. Like that's one of the things that has gotten him through to where he is
Human
right
tank.
now. The
I
dude
like
is
that.
just as a chin.
They call him the Juggernaut.
Yeah,
That's his nickname, right? George Joyce's nickname.
exactly. Just goes through anything, unstoppable. Yeah, I hear him. Like if you can knock out the Juggernaut, then yeah, you're on your way.
Yeah. Apparently, around the YouTube circuit, there's a lot of good vibes for Joe Joyce. A lot of women are going for him because I heard this just yesterday that a lady reached out to me. She goes, I really feel for him. I said, why? She goes, his mum's blind. And I said, well, at the end of the day, that's a nice thing that you feel for him that way. But in boxing, feelings don't win fights. Does that make sense, Smoke? And
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
letting her, and I was glad that she was going for him. But I think she's just going for him because, there is some stuff out there about his mum. Unfortunately, she's blind. God bless her. But there is these things in England. People are very compassionate about stuff like that, bro.
they also, like boxing is funny about like what brings you to boxing and what keeps you to boxing, what keeps you in boxing. A lot of these guys' personal stories brings fans in. and then they find out about the sport, right? And then
Facts.
they may either stay around or they may leave once they find out about the sport. But it's generally being connected to some guy's story is what brings them in, or
Yeah,
some woman's story.
some boxers have got really different stories. Some boxers, you don't hear their stories until they become relevant, right? And it's just the way it works, man. Boxing's a story anyway, because a guy who boxes, they always say he has something different to a normal guy. There's something inside of you that you gotta have to want to go in that ring and give a beating or take a beating, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man. Listen, there's something different about that. There's something different about a competitor, but then there's something real different about a guy who does it for a living. And then a guy who does it for a living that is trying to be the best at it. Like once you're trying to be the best at it at boxing, then generally you are a mean dude. Somewhere in your personality, there's something about you that wants you to do harm to somebody. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
You cannot operate at the top levels of boxing without trying to hurt somebody. Period. Dot.
Yeah, that's why I feel sorry for some of these fighters who dads were ferocious. Like, you got the Chris Eubank Jr. and the senior. Senior was a ferocious man. He used to totally dominate you in the ring. And if you gave him a chance, he'd take you out and put you to sleep. And it's unfortunate that some of these fighters' dads, like Conor Benn's dad, they were so ferocious that these kids have got a lot of pressure on them that they already, people think, oh, because they got dads, they got it easy. No, it's worse when your dad's such a ferocious fighter and a Hall of Fame or a legend in Britain and England, not to mention around the world too. It kind of puts so much pressure on these young kids because you expect so much from them. Don't you think so, Smoke? Is there any fighters in America who are out there right now where their dads were so good that it kind of like overshadows their career?
I mean, so we get the world here, right? So it happens a bunch. Like the most, the most famous example is the Julio Cesar Chavez versus Junior, right?
Oh my God! Yes, yes, yes.
Right. That dude's straight warrior, legend, and his son is like if he didn't have Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as his dad, I mean Julio Cesar Chavez as his father, that we may not even know of him, but he certainly wouldn't get as much hell as he catches.
Yeah, he didn't play his part of the bargain. He didn't actually even at least show some integrity for the sport. Where I think he was, but look, he was a world champion at once, right?
Yeah, I mean the guy started at 140. He's fighting at 168 now. He's gone up 20, and not only has he been a champion, but he's has he been a champion? He's been in championship fights. Now that I think about it,
I know. I want to know, was he a world champion?
yeah, I know he's been in championship fights. I think he lost them though.
But did he not ever win the world champion
I'm not
once?
sure. I'm not sure.
Because if
Check
he
that out.
did, and if he did, and he got lazy, and as he got up, he wasn't that good.
Let's see.
I think he achieved something, nowhere near his dad. But if he became a world champion, then I know he's quit in fights, and he's got a lot of little bad, bad press out there, bad credibility. But if you became a world champion, then that means he at least achieved something before, just becoming a guy in the sport, which is not making much of himself or his dad's name, really. But look, Conor Benn's in his own world here. He can't live off his dad. He's got to go in there and do what he's got to do now. He's got to come in with a 20-20 times. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's got a middleweight championship off of Zivik.
Who did he win that from?
Zivik.
See, I don't remember Civic, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, me either.
So that means he won it off somebody who probably Bob Arum got it for him, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was Bob Arum's setting up, got him a title. Did he defend it?
You know what? No, hold up. I closed that one out.
Okay, but look, Chavez Jr. has really been a discredit to the sport, especially with the way that he's quitting a couple of times. And I really feel sorry for,
He did. He defended it. Um, Marco Rubio is a guy.
Yeah, I remember
He,
him.
yeah, he defended it. His third defense was against Marco Rubio.
He beat
Actually,
Andy
yeah.
Lee too,
Oh,
right?
wait. That's right. He did knock out Andy Lee.
He
That's
beat
right.
Andy
He
Lee.
did. Okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So he's got a good name. He's got a good number of defenses. Got a good name during that reign on it. Um, and Andy Lee was that's a crunk gym guy.
But that was at 160, right?
Yeah, that's middleweight.
So as
He
soon
got
as
the
he
middleweight
moved to
title.
168, he was done. He couldn't
Yeah.
compete.
Yeah, and coming up from 140, he debuted at 140 and then picked up a middleweight title. That's not bad. Um, but yeah, he was not his dad. And then the greats of our era, like their kids, don't really fight. They don't really box like that. Because like at least it's been traditional. It may be changing now, but you had to live in abject poverty really to be a boxer. Like just the grind of it, the willingness to take low money to get punched in the face. It's because you had no other options.
Yeah, but like I said, man, you look at some of the sons, it's very hard for them to overdo what their dad did. It's
Yeah,
very hard because the first bloodline generation of that DNA was the creator of what they were. Like you look at
yeah,
Joe Frazier and his son, different day and night difference it was. You look at Julian Jackson and his son. His son, I think Andy Lee stopped his career. Andy Lee retired Julian Jackson's son.
yeah. Like,
Um,
you're not gonna get Mayweather's kids in the gym, right? You're not gonna
yeah.
get De La Hoya's kids in the gym. They just made too much money. They just have too many other options. Like even you take a Ken Norton, right? His son played football. He still made a bunch of money in sports, but why get punched in the face?
Yeah, no, look, and you look at these guys, right, which got so much pressure, like Costa Zoo and Tim Zoo. Now, Tim Zoo has so much pressure on his head because his dad was a legend in Australia. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
mean,
here too. Here
yeah, there
too.
you
Like
go.
people are still talking about how Costa Zoo would have beat Sugar Shane Mosley.
Well, there you go. And Costa Zoo, his son Tim Zoo has a lot of pressure, just like Conor Ben, just like Chris Eubank Jr. These guys, you have to have a certain DNA even as a son, and you have to blank out who your dad was and go and create your own greatness. You know what I mean, Smoke?
Yeah, but the dad is just right there with him. You got to blank it out, but you also need them because boxing is all about learning the craft and the tricks from the old school. Like if you just have to keep reinventing the wheel, you're gonna be behind.
Yeah, but look, Nigel Benn, early days, he came on TV when he came on Sky. He said, "Look, I'm not going to be there with my son in his early days. I want him to learn the game, and I want him to learn the hard way." Chris Eubank Sr. said to Nigel Benn, "You're stupid." This was on TV. "I'm going to stay with my son, and I'm going to be right there all the way." So there's two different perspectives here. One dad is always in the camera and all in your face, and you know what I mean. And he takes more. Chris Eubank Senior, when he's next to his son, he takes the limelight. Sometimes he's always in the cameras. He's always, speaking about his son. Whereas Nigel Benn, he lets his son grow slowly, and then he'll come once in a while to support his son. So he's letting his son handle this
Yeah,
situation so he can grow into it.
yeah, and you can see the trajectory of their two careers, right? I mean, I'm not saying that either one of them is great, because both of those guys have a lot of work and they have a lot of holes in their game. But just generally speaking, what you want and what's missing from boxing right now is that unbroken continuity from the past. Like it's you want the old guys to teach the new guys how to do it, and like all the tricks. That's the reason why boxing I feel like is the way it is right now and the lack of skills is because you don't have all the old time greats teaching the next generation. The Georgie Bentons are gone. The Buddy McGirt's, Buddy McGirt's still there, but Eddie Futches, the Cus D'Amatos, like those guys aren't around anymore.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, bro. But look, at the end of the day, you always need a mentor and someone to look up to. And when you lose that respect for somebody around you, even in your own camp, or not have that something to look up to, which not your fear of, but just knowing that you come from something which is a different cloth, it should inspire you, right? Like it's like this. If your dad was like a LeBron James or or somebody in basketball, you would feel inspired whether you like it or not. You would,
Well,
because
yeah, LeBron specifically, LeBron's kid is supposed to be nice, and he's a junior too.
right,
So LeBron's dream is to play with his son, right? And I'm not trying to see that, but whatever. That's what his dream is. And we have baseball here, and we've had like a legendary father and son play on the same team, right? Both guys going to the Hall of Fame.
right.
But you don't really get that in sport. You don't get that in boxing at all.
Okay, yeah, it's true, right? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the
Father and son Hall of Famers? Yeah, no, I can't think of one. I think the closest you get is the Klitschko brothers, right?
so there is no father and son who made it in Hall of Fame in boxing. Is that what
Not
we're
that I
saying?
can think. Yeah, no.
Hey, that's a statement that I haven't heard of even in boxing. I can't even think of a father and son which both made it as world champions. Do you know any?
What we just said, Julio Cesar Chavez,
Oh no,
right?
no. What am I talking about, dude?
Yeah, we just said Julio Cesar
Chris
Chavez.
Eubank Senior and Chris Eubank Junior. They both won. Chris Eubank Junior won a WBO or an IBO.
Well, the issue though was when Chris Eubanks had the WBO, it wasn't really a championship, but he
But he
was a
still,
he
he
was a real
still,
champion though. He
he
was a real
still.
champion.
It was
I'm
a
not sure if Chris Eubank was. Chris Eubank was a champ.
yeah. He was a champ. He won. He won a title against one of these. I can't remember the guy's name. I'll have to go on his record
I
again.
know he got the IBO off of the
The
guy who
Australian guy.
DeGale, off of DeGale, right? That last fight.
Yeah, but he won a title before that, beat an Australian dude.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and I can't remember the Australian dude's name right now. But if Jed Kyle's on the show, he'll let me know that there was a title fight for Chris Eubank Jr. and some Australian guy, and it was in England, and that's when he won his first title. But look, there is some father and sons that won world titles, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that has.
I think Conor Benn. Listen, I think Conor Benn could win a world title.
Yeah,
Because he's young enough and he's that experienced, and there's a generation of guys who are going to move out of it. Like all the guys who are there now are going to be out of there, right? So Spence will move up. Terrence Crawford will retire. Pacquiao will retire. I think Sean Porter will be past it. If he doesn't move up, then he'll just be there, right? Dinking and dunking at 147. You got the Ugases that may be there for a little bit, but I think the 140s will come up, the Josh Taylors and the Ramirez's, and I think he could do some. I think he could do some damage during that era. Like once those guys are ruling the 140 division, and when you get when you get the Teofimo Lopez's up there or the Devin Haney's, I think
yeah.
Conor Benn should be able to bang it out with those guys and maybe pick up a WBO and hold that hostage for a little bit.
We got a message here for us, Smoke. Rahul says that the issue is that most children don't live up to the hype or even the expectations of their fathers. And in boxing, especially, it feels like. I mean, I don't know. Tell me a son that was done better than his dad. I mean, it doesn't come top. It doesn't really come straight to my head. Oh yeah, he done way better than his dad. You know what I mean?
Now, the most you can say it really is Floyd Mayweather doing better than his dad and his uncles.
Oh yeah, Floyd actually changed the script, but his dad also wasn't totally in the boxing fraternity where he done great things. You know what I'm saying? His dad was just an okay fighter.
Yeah, he fought Sugar Ray and he fought Duran.
He
He's
lost
been in
both
there
of
with some
those fights.
guys.
He lost both of those fights.
Yeah, he did, but he fought for the championship. But that's the dad, right? So it's the uncle.
I think his uncle was better.
The uncle was the champ, right?
Yeah, but he also lost to Chavez Senior, and he lost his on the last fight against was it Ray Leonard? He was complaining about.
Yeah, but he also lost to Sweet Pea. But he also beat some guys too. He beat Vinny Paz. He beat some guys. He was a good champion.
No, facts. And to be honest, yeah, Floyd Mayweather definitely done better than the whole script of the Mayweathers. Zab Judah's dad, was he a boxer?
No, he's a kickboxer.
Right?
He's a kickboxer.
Okay. I heard his dad was in the fraternity of something like that. I don't know any
Yeah, he's a kickboxing champ. Yeah.
Not many fighters I can think of in England, apart from Nigel Benn, Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Um, lot of brothers, and there is some twins out there, right? Who've done some stuff. We got some brothers out there who've done well. You do realize, right? The Callum Smith. I know you know everything. Smoke. A lot of Americans don't. Callum Smith comes from a family of fraternity of all boxers. You know that, right? All
Yeah,
the brothers are boxers.
yeah. Canelo's about to be able to beat both brothers. Like Lara, I feel like Lara got robbed in the Canelo fight, but then he knocked out Canelo's brother, so he got a chance to beat both brothers. But yeah, Canelo's now has an opportunity in his next fight to clean up the family.
Yeah. So Callum Smith is, most considered way better than his brother Liam Smith. Um, they say because just because of just where Callum Smith is 6'3", we're gonna have to expect a much better fight than what his brother put up. But I'm gonna ask you this question: Canelo has actually fought about 5 Brits so far. I think Callum Smith can definitely do better than all the Brits so far. I definitely think Callum Smith can do better than Amir Khan, Rocky Fielding, Liam Smith, Matthew Hatton, and who was the other guy who he fought years ago? Ryan Rhodes. That's the 5 that I remember.
Oh, I don't remember Ryan Rhodes, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that,
you
that,
better
that
be.
was when Canelo was young, coming up.
Yeah. But I feel like you may be setting yourself up. I feel that list right there. I think pretty much encapsulates what Brooks said about his loss to Terrence Crawford. That the guys out of the UK are just fighting one way, and you need to vary your game up, and you need different styles. And Liam Smith is the same style of all those other guys you're just talking about. Amir Khan is a little bit different because he has like kind of fast hands.
Well, he's
He
the only
throws a
one
lot
who
of
was winning
shots.
rounds. He was the only one winning rounds
Right,
against Canelo.
exactly. But they're all that like just step, that European style of like jab and standing there like a statue. Canelo's gonna eat that up. He's gonna beat the shit out that boy.
See, the problem with fucking Canelo, right? Every way I look at Callum Smith's chances, it's like Canelo's got a granite chin. He's so fucking skillful, so gifted that the man is gonna break you down, bro, through the body. And Callum Smith's body is gonna be exposed there, bro. 6'3" guy. I mean, Callum Smith's got to be jabbing. Every time Canelo comes to the body or tries to go down, up, Callum's got to try and counter. And Callum's got to set some traps up himself. And he can box. But I just can't. Man, I might be from England, but I can't make the route of how he wins. Because Canelo has answers for all these things already.
Yeah, yeah. He does not have the reflexes in order to offset what Canelo does well. It's not like he definitely has the size and he definitely has the jab, but it's his reflexes of when to do it. Like if you look at the Teofimo Lopez versus Loma fight, he's a bigger guy, but he had the reflexes to keep Loma at the end, right? So he kept Loma outside where Loma couldn't really do anything. Whereas once Callum Smith jabs, like Canelo has the upper body movement to slip, and he has the punch and timing selection to make it hurt once he slips.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think of how does Callum Smith stay on the outside, try and set his traps up when Canelo's coming in aggressive. And then also he has to try and stay long and continuously be on his jab and then trying to see if he can set up a 1-2. It's not going to be easy. But like I said, he's got a better chance than any of those 5 guys that I fucking mentioned to you, dude. Look at the 5 guys I just
So
mentioned.
who has the best shot to beat Canelo out of England?
Billy Joe Saunders, you think?
Probably, maybe. But Billy Joe Saunders, that fight would have to happen in England. You need all that. You need some of that nasal spray. Whatever the heck he was on during that Lemieux fight. That's what you need. You need to turn back the clock to that fight. The only problem is Canelo is no damn David Lemieux.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Canelo right now has announced the fight in a few weeks. A lot of boxing fraternity around the world are saying Canelo's a bully of the weight. He gets people to fight within a few weeks. How do you feel about that?
I mean, he does that when he all right. So first off, I don't know if that's Canelo or if that's Golden Boy.
Golden
Right?
Boy's not in the contract anymore.
Yeah, I'm saying Canelo may not give a damn about any of that. That might be like Golden Boy stuff, right? But I don't even think against Rocky Fielding they cared, right? When you have fighters like that where they're actually just tailor made for Canelo, what does it matter?
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, though, a lot of fighters have known that they're going to fight Canelo anyway because he's the big prize. So they've been training hard anyway. So there shouldn't be any excuses because they've been training through the COVID. And a lot of people like Caleb Plant, Callum Smith, they've been told that Canelo's out there, so just keep sharp. You know what I mean? And at least Callum Smith stepped up to the plate with a short notice. I mean, you got to give him that. And that's why we got to fight, because we didn't want to see no fucking, what's that guy's name? Yildirim? I don't want to see no fucking Yildirim. Soon as he was talking about Yildirim, boxing sounded dead with Canelo. But now he's announced this fight, there's a bit more excitement, if that makes sense, Smoke.
Yeah, definitely. See, the thing is, this fight is so good, actually, that you can fight Yildirim after. So if you're going to do this whole thing, you tease Yildirim first, and then fight a Callum Smith, and then fight Yildirim, and then it's a unification at 168.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are wanting, either if it wasn't Callum, to be Caleb Plant, or Benavidez got nothing to offer.
Oh yeah.
Benavidez lost his title on the scales.
Forget titles. So if you just want boxing, if you want to bring boxing back, you make Benavidez versus Canelo.
That's a big Mexican showdown.
That's what
Mexico,
you do,
right?
That's boxing. I'm trying to tell you, like that fight right there. You got the young up and coming guy. You know, Benavidez is 24 also. He's the same age as these Tanks and these TOs and the Conor benn.
How young he is.
Yeah.
I thought he was 26, 27 at least.
No, he's a young boy. Tank is older than this guy.
Holy shit, that's a young kid there, man. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like this is when you get the Canelo fight. When you can win and you're still young enough where it doesn't matter. Especially if you're going to be losing your title on the scale.
So do you see Canelo beating Jamal Charlo?
Yeah.
So then who's left for him then?
Oh, he's got to fight him. Just because I think Canelo will win doesn't mean all of a sudden he doesn't fight him. I think that is a huge fight in Dallas. And you got to go out there and do it, right?
That's the biggest fight.
Especially if he goes Callum Smith and then Yildirim,
right?
Then it's either Plant or Charlo at that point. And I think that either one of those guys could win. I think Charlo's a bigger fight.
Hey, what's up?
How are we?
What you
saying, mate? What's up, man?
So what's the conversation here today?
Say that again, bro.
What's the conversation here today?
We're talking about the Conor benn fight coming up this weekend, and we just started going into fathers which are legends and their sons have got a lot of pressure. So we started talking about fighters like Tim Tszyu, Costa Tszyu, how they've got, these kids have to, when you got a father which is so good, sometimes it overshadows their career, if that makes any sense.
Chris Eubank and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and Tim Tszyu and Costa Tszyu, like their fathers are so
Julio
powerful.
Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the Canelo thing you were talking about, I thought he would pick Plant personally, but you don't know what Canelo's going to do. He's picking and choosing who he wants to fight at this point in time.
Yeah, but I mean, he had to announce a fight because he was in a little lawsuit with his promoter, right? So they were trying to get a fight on because this COVID has slowed everything down. But when he was trying to announce that Yildirim fight, everybody got fucking pissed off. Like, we're talking, I go to all, Smokes knows, I go to shows all over the world, especially in America, England. I go to podcasts everywhere. Everyone was not happy with that fight. But now that he's pulled a world champion out from England, people are still saying, well, at least it's a world champion at 168. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But what was you
I think-
thinking?
Well, personally, I think the best 168 fighter on the planet, well, the two.
Yeah.
Is this at super middle or what is it?
This is at 168.
Yeah,
Super
168.
middle, right?
Thought so.
Yeah, super middle.
Super middleweight. Yeah. See, for me, the best super middleweight on the planet, and this is just my opinion, when he's fit and ready to go, and I think he's very much underrated. I think Billy Joe Saunders, but I don't know what he's up to at the moment. I felt like Canelo should have fought him. That'd be a big fight, but I don't know if they'll ever fight.
A lot of people in England, especially all the people in England who are in the boxing fraternity, they feel that Billy Joe Saunders, when he's at his best, is definitely a harder matchup for Canelo than Callum Smith.
Because he's
And
awkward.
But that's only when he's in the game, active, fighting, and staying consistent. I mean, we just don't know what he's done for about 13 months. I mean, everything's slow right now, and Billy Joe just hasn't been able to get himself with good fights in the last year and a half, 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see, like Raul just said, I'd like to see Canelo and Spence at 168. I mean, that would be a good fight.
Yeah, but Canelo and Smoke. Isn't that too much to ask for Spence to come up 2 weights?
I think it's
3 weights.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Like he hasn't even shown that he has power at 154. So no, I don't want to see him fight him at 168. Like,
isn't that 3 weight classes?
It's a big jump.
Yeah, like
it's a big jump.
Does his power even carry to 154?
Yeah.
Like he's a concussive.
Spence, let's just say he doesn't have that much power.
Yeah, like the guy he's an accumulation knockout artist at 147. Why would I need the guy to go all the way up to 168, especially when Canelo has a belt at 160?
I think if they can make it at 160, that's a good chance for Spence.
Yeah, and I still need to see what he looks like at 154.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I believe Errol Spence cleans up 154, bro.
I think those guys need to be gone out of 154. Like just the same way he's doing the same way a bunch of guys after he's done his business at 147, a bunch of those guys need to move up or just stay around there. All those guys at 154 in the next couple of years need to move up also. J-Rock.
I appreciate that, but I believe that right now Errol Spence, forget Jamal Charlo, that's his training camp. I believe Errol Spence beats Tony Harrison and beats that other dude. What's his name?
J-Rock. J-Rock and Rosario. Yeah. And you also got
Julian
Hurd
Williams.
out there.
What's Julian Williams? Is he J-Rock?
Yeah, that's J-Rock.
No, I disagree.
And you also got Erickson Lubin.
No, look, at the end of the day, Errol Spence, if he's at 154, yeah, he's a much bigger.
Lubin's good.
Yeah, Lubin's good, but Errol Spence.
You also got that big formella guy. Like, there's some guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a big fight though. Canelo and Errol Spence. It's a huge fight if they ever made it at 160. It's a fucking huge fight. It's bigger than Jamal Charlo.
Nah,
it is bigger.
I mean, maybe. But we got to see it first.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see Errol Spence. Like, if Errol Spence becomes undisputed at 147, then yes. But at this point, we don't even know if Errol Spence is better than Bud.
I mean, we just got to get those fights on, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody would have Spence better than Pacquiao. I think everybody has Spence better than Thurman. But not everybody has Spence better than Bud. So, and Bud is not. There's no way that Bud can go to 160 and fight anybody.
Right. Hey, I haven't asked this other guy that break down the Canelo and Callum Smith on December the 19th. How'd you see it going, mate? Is he there? Anyway, I don't think he's there now. But yeah,
I got another call or something.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, the best thing we can see now is, look, my thing is this. Every time I try and get an opponent to beat Canelo, in my head, the hardest opponent I've got is Benavidez.
Yeah. I mean, Benavidez is one thing and Plant is another. Like, so Plant, I think has the style that we've seen give Canelo problems, right? Benavidez has the strength and the youth that we think could give Canelo problems, but not necessarily the style. He's a big dude that throws a ton of punches, so he could be there, like, you know, he could be there for the whole the duration. But he's still like kind of statue, and he still stands there and throws a bunch of punches. Caleb Plant is at least on the move. Like he slips punches. He's got nice counters. That kind of style traditionally has given Canelo issues, and the master of that style beat him.
Kangaroo Jack, are you there, mate? Are you there, Kangaroo Jack?
Not yet.
Yeah, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
No, that's you, Smoke. But the Kangaroo Jack can't hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just doing something. Sorry, guys. My bad.
No. I wanted you to break down the Canelo and Callum Smith fight. How does it go?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. CT, I don't believe. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Canelo's going to play with him. I do rate Callum Smith. I think he's great. I think he's he's fundamentally good. I think he's got a good pedigree. But I just don't think he beats Canelo. I don't think his style, like we say, styles make fights. He doesn't beat Canelo, but I believe Billy Joe Saunders can cause troubles for Canelo because he's a herky jerky sort of guy. It's very similar to some of the heavyweights going around at the moment. You know, he's just awkward as Billy Joe Saunders, but I think Canelo's avoiding him. But
yeah, Billy Joe can fight on the front foot. Billy Joe's good fight southpaw, orthodox. Billy Joe's got serious attributes, bro.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You think Canelo is avoiding Billy Joe Saunders?
Oh yes.
For what? I mean,
Well, I mean, he picks and chooses who he fights. Not like you've got to make noise to get Canelo Alvarez to actually go, yeah, okay, I'm interested. You know, even though I do agree that he is fighting a champion at the moment, so he's not picking like nobodies, if you know what I mean.
You know that they had that fight. That fight was they had that fight in a bag, and it was Billy Joe Saunders who messed that fight up, not Canelo.
No, the fight was never going ahead. I don't reckon.
Right,
ever.
but the issue wasn't Canelo trying to get out of the fight, though.
It wasn't
an issue about Canelo. The reason why the fight ultimately fell apart wasn't because Canelo was trying to get away from Billy Joe Saunders. As a matter of fact, nobody's trying to get away from Billy Joe Saunders. Maybe Callum Smith was like, hey, you know what? The money's too low. But I don't think anybody is like, hey, you know that Billy Joe Saunders is too damn dangerous. Like, who is saying that? Nobody's saying that.
Oh, I would.
I mean, you might, but you're not in the middleweight division. I'm assuming, even if you are a boxer.
Yeah, but you know, I just say this: when Billy Joe came to America, and he beat that guy David Lemieux like every single round, and he was looking on the other side of the ring, there were people avoiding him then. Like
he was avoiding people then.
But also when he put a great performance in, there wasn't people actually looking to fight him.
People were looking to fight him. People were looking to fight him, and he wasn't looking. Remember the Triple G fight?
I remember. But he's the one who went to Triple G's fight against Canelo, and he's the one who went over.
And then, do you remember what he said about that fight?
What's that?
Yeah, no, he wasn't trying to hear that fight. Like that's fine. Listen, if you want to go way back then,
I'm talking about way back then. He was very, very focused.
No, I'm saying I got it. If you want to go way back then, there was a time when he was like, yes, I want to have the Triple G fight. And then when the Triple G fight was there, it was like, we got to fight in England. As if Billy Joe Saunders gets to dictate what Triple G fights.
I don't know about that. I never ever heard of that.
I don't know about that either.
I've never ever heard of that, Smoke. Because
that's all good. Let me help you guys out here. Let me just pull up the link.
Yeah, no, because I'll tell you why. There's been like 4 or 5 different negotiations up and down with that. So I'm talking about the times when Billy Joe was active and he was going to the press conferences calling them out. So it wasn't like he was avoiding the smoke. It was just when he was ready, the fights
Correct.
never came. And then when
Correct.
he wasn't ready, the fights got offered to him and he didn't take them. So,
Correct.
so it's like it's like a bit of both. When he
Right.
was ready, he couldn't get it. When he wasn't ready, he got offered maybe.
That's the whole point. The whole point was that's my whole point of it, is that he wanted to dictate the terms of when those fights happen. And he just didn't do it. Like David Lemieux does not give you bargaining power against Triple G. Like you being a custodian of your own career, fine. If you're saying you don't want to take a fight for whatever reason, that's your prerogative. That's your right. You don't need, nobody should be able to force you into a fight. But then to turn around and say guys are avoiding you, like, come on, bro. Like, listen, I think that Andrade fight would have been phenomenal, but it's not Andrade that got busted with stuff, right? The reason why these fights are not happening is not because of the other guy trying to get out of fights with Billy Joe Saunders.
In your opinion, guys, who's the top 3 super middleweights on the planet?
Top 3? I think there's really only 2, and then
top 5 best middleweights on the planet.
Right, I think there's really only 2 and a bunch of guys. Right, so well, actually, if you consider Canelo a super middleweight, then you can add Canelo in there. But his only test has been against Rocky Fielding. So how do you know? Like, he's just one of the best fighters on the planet, and who's competing in the super middleweight division, but he hasn't proven himself at the superweight level yet. So really, the only proven guys are David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. I mean, you can go down to the
you can't really
and all that stuff, but
you can't really say that because Callum Smith won the tournament,
right?
He knocked out. No, wait. He beat
I'm gonna throw Callum Smith in there. Callum Smith in there. Sorry.
To be in there.
Yes, Callum Smith is definitely in there.
And
it's just that Callum Smith sucks ass.
Yeah, Callum Smith's in there, and I believe he's underrated. I believe that the way that
to say he sucks ass is a bit over the top. He's a Ring Magazine champion.
That doesn't mean it's good for Ring Magazine. That don't mean a damn thing. But what I'm saying to you is, he got that Ring Magazine off of beating a bum shoulder George Groves, right? And then also the way that he's defended it, like John Ryder.
Yeah, but John,
let me finish. John Ryder.
No, we got a whole European audience here. George Groves was never a bum, and you can't.
I said he had a bum shoulder. I said he had a bum shoulder. A bum shoulder.
Okay, sorry.
He was a bum. Okay. He had a bum shoulder.
George Groves was a really good fighter.
No, he was a good fighter. He had a bum shoulder in that fight.
Callum Smith put him into retirement.
Right. Well, I mean, he was headed there anyway, but he had a bum shoulder, right? It's not like.
Let me ask you this.
That was like that fight went to the cards, right?
Yeah, but you rate Caleb Plant so much. I've just looked at his resume. There's no one there.
No, listen, I rate his. I think
Callum Smith's resume, Kangaroo, is better than Caleb Plant.
That's fine. That's fine. I was actually just talking about the styles matchup against Canelo.
So you think Caleb Plant beats Billy Joe and Callum Smith easy? Is that what you're saying?
I think he beats. I think he beats Smith easier than he beats Billy Joe Sanders, but I think he beats them both.
So you think those guys beat those guys easy, right?
Yeah, but I do think but hold on a second. I do think Smith is the third best super middleweight, but that John Ryder fight though left some doubt. Maybe John Ryder is the third best.
I think Callum Smith gives a good fight to Caleb Plant, even possibly could beat him. I think so. I think Billy Joe.
I don't think he has a shot to beat. I don't think he has a shot to beat Caleb Plant. Not at all. I think it's better. I think he has a better shot to beat David Benavidez because they have a similar style. But I think David Benavidez is too big and can take a good shot. And I think that is a way better fight. Like Smith's feet just don't move. Like that fight he had against
Caleb Plant.
Fight he had it on the Ruiz AJ undercard. Yeah. That was atrocious, man. Like there's no way. Like those two fights, that fight he had against the African dude and the fight that he had against John Ryder, and even the fight before against Groves. Like Groves, that was a good fight. John Smith definitely won, but Groves at that point he was compromised as a fighter. He did not go in there, and you could tell that his shoulder was an issue. in the fight.
What I'm saying is the two unbeaten fighters that Callum Smith beat in the tournament, those guys have gone on to win as well. So what I'm saying is those guys which were coming up in that tournament, they were meant to be great fighters. Not great, good fighters. So even though with Caleb Plant, he hasn't been proved. If he steps up, we're only going to know how good he is once he steps up.
Hasn't been proved. You don't think Uzgatagi is showing improving?
It's okay, but he hasn't stepped up with the top 5.
Uzgatagi is just as good. Look, Uzgatagi is just as good a win or better than everybody David Benavidez or Smith fought. All of them.
I don't know,
On the night of the fight.
I've got to back up my fellow European friend here. I mean, Caleb Plant hasn't fought anybody of the notes of blokes like Billy Joel and all that. Come on, let's be honest. Let's not live in cuckoo.
I didn't say that he fought the likes of Billy Joe. I said Uzgatagi, but Smith has not fought the likes of Billy Joe either. Groves was okay, but even Billy Joe is not anything at 168. I don't know why Billy Joe has done absolutely nothing at super middleweight.
Yeah, Billy
He's
Joe's
a WBO champ.
Yeah, he is. He's a champ there, though.
Yeah,
He's undefeated.
It depends on if you think the regular championship belt is worth a damn.
Yeah, but just like you guys, just like you like to say, Caleb Plant and Benavidez is the most hardest opponents for Canelo. I mean, you got to appreciate that Billy Joe Saunders has just not been active. He's never showed you any doubt. He just had a couple of bad performances, but he's always won. He always adapts. He always adapts. And when he turns it up, I mean, he's the most awkward fighter in that fucking weight right now. It's just that you haven't
100%.
seen much for him. You haven't seen much from him. And it's just that, he's had a few bad presses and he's had a few negative situations happen, which is overshadowing his position.
It's not that at all.
It's just overshadowing his position at the moment.
I promise you. It's not that.
Well, that's doing it in England. In England, it's done that.
The issue is he hasn't done anything at 168. The Billy Joe Saunders that you're talking about is at 160.
But what I'm saying is like Canelo, he's at 168 now, but he beat Rocky Fielding.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I think Billy Joe Saunders is more difficult to beat at 168. So
I mean, how would you? Based on what?
Just based on I've watched all of his fights, and when he has a bit more weight on him, he does a lot better.
He did a lot better. Okay, he hasn't done a lot better against anyone. His best fights, right, are still David Lemieux, and his best performances in the ring. Forget whatever against the level opponent, right? But his best performances in the ring have been against Eubank Jr. and David Lemieux. Those are his the best we've ever seen the dude in the ring. Period. It's not at 168.
Is it at 160? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, both of those are 160. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't improved off those two performances, which were years ago.
Well, my top 4 best super middleweights in the world at the moment would be going by what I think in regards to the way they're going at the second and rankings and blah blah blah. Who I would pick? I'd probably say Smith, Canelo, Plant, and Saunders. Also, if any of you, he's from the UK. What's his name? He's underrated, but I do rate him very high. John Ryder.
No, Callum Smith. No, there's another guy who lost to that. Oh no, what's his name? Callum Johnson.
Callum Johnson, right? So, I'm confused. Are you guys is Kangaroo Jack an Australian or European? Because the last time I looked, Australia and Europe doesn't have kangaroos, and Australia is not Europe. Is not in Europe.
I'm Australian.
Yeah. So what's this European brother stuff?
Well, he's from. We'll just say Commonwealth. We'll just say Commonwealth. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you my top 5, Smoke. I got Canelo. I got Benavidez. I've got. For some reason, I just think Benavidez has got something that people are underrating him. He's more hungry than all of them for some reason, I'm thinking. And then I've got a joint third position because of the non-activity of Billy Joe. I've got a joint third between Callum Smith and Caleb Plant, and then I put Billy Joe there. That's how I'll do it. right now, only because Billy Joe hasn't been active. Unless if you saw some great performances from him, then I'll change my mind again. But that's just the way I've got it at the moment.
Okay,
Because
so okay, guys who I think are better than every European fighting currently. Like it's funny that you said David Benavidez is hungry, seeing that he was overweight by
no, I
a
get
pound
that,
and a
but
half,
I just
right?
in his fights, he
All
puts
right,
in
and no,
such a
I got you.
performance
I got you. He's
that
a big
he
boy,
digs deep. He digs deep, bro, and I just see something in his performances that
right?
gives me that thing that he'll give Canelo his best shot.
Right. So if we're just gonna do this whole regional thing, right? Here are the guys I think that can beat all of the. I think can beat all the Europeans, right? I think Daniel Jacobs beats all of the Europeans. I think I think Anthony Durrell beats all of the Europeans.
In what? Which way? The
He
168.
168. That's what he's fighting
Anthony
at.
Durrell would never beat the Europeans right now. Smoke, you're talking shit. Now you're
Same
talking
as
shit,
No,
Jacobs.
bro.
sorry.
I mean, same
Is
as
it
Now
Andre?
you're
Jacobs.
talking shit, bro.
No,
Now you're
no, sorry.
talking. Now,
Now you're
No,
talking whack.
is it
I'm sorry,
Andre?
bro. I've got
Wait,
to
is
put
it
you
Andre?
straight there.
Hold
You're
up.
taking a fucking piss on my show.
Rap
Anthony
star,
Durrell will lose
rap
against
star,
Billy Joe and Callum
Hey,
Smith.
rap star, you're going on one.
No, I'm just being straight up, bro. We
Anthony
from
Durrell.
London. When we're from
Anthony
London, when
Durrell.
you talk
Listen,
shit, bro,
if I could,
I gotta
okay,
put you straight.
I'm not talking shit.
You're talking shit.
Anthony Durrell was winning the fight against David Benavidez until he got
He was
injured.
doing bullshit against Benavidez. He was weak in that fight, bro. Me and you're gonna watch that together again. He was getting pushed back in that fight.
Okay.
He was getting consistently pushed back.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. I think David Benavidez beats the shit out of all the Europeans, right? So Anthony Durrell doing good against David Benavidez before he gets stopped. What?
Yeah, but that's the same thing as me saying Josh Taylor beats the shit out of all the guys at.
The guy, listen.
You know
First
what I
off,
mean?
all right. First off, the fight ended on cuts, right? That's for let's back it up. The fight ended on cuts, and definitely Durrell was up early in
Durrell
that
was
fight.
doing bullshit in that fight, Smoke.
Okay, all right.
He was fucking losing that fight like anything, Smoke.
He was losing the fight at the
Come
time.
on, Smoke. You can't say Durrell.
Bro, I'm
You
trying to
fucked
say
it
it,
up
but you're
there.
interrupting me.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
trying to.
man. At first I was with you, but when you
I'm
came
trying.
out with
Listen,
that
if I can,
Durrell shit, yeah,
okay,
that was
okay,
biased,
all right,
man.
all
That
right.
guy
So,
can't do shit at 168 anymore, bro.
oh my God, all right.
Callum Smith will beat
Oh
him.
my God.
And I wish those fights happen so that I can bet you money. That look, watch this. I'm telling you now, Billy Joe Saunders beats Anthony Durrell.
And
Yeah,
Jacobs.
you can tell me that all you want, but what I'm saying
I'm
to you,
telling you.
I know you can tell me that, but I've heard you say it. But now, if I could speak, Anthony Durrell was winning that fight until David Benavidez turned it up a little bit.
I don't agree with you, though, bro.
Let
I
me
just don't
finish.
agree
Yo,
with you.
why do you keep interrupting me?
Go ahead.
So, Anthony Durrell was injured in that fight. He got cut. He went out there because cuts over the eye. And definitely, once the cut happened, Benavidez started turning it up and did well after the cut happened. But before that happened, Anthony Durrell was winning that fight.
Okay, he's finished, right? What a fucking idiot. I have never heard anything like that out of that fight from any boxing podcast. We watched that fight live, bro. And I've watched that fight again with somewhere else. That guy was getting totally dominated in that fight. Anthony Durrell's jabs were just about getting through. Everything else was Benavidez. Benavidez was an aggressor. Benavidez was hurting him in the fight. And there was a point that he was hurting that fight, bro. And before even the
Benavidez
whole
put it on him hard.
Yeah, he had him in some of those rounds, right? Under serious pressure, where I thought he was going to even hurt him then. So I thought Anthony Durrell's got no chance after when I started seeing that. So I don't know what you were watching. But you know what? You made a good statement about Benavidez. I don't know about Daniel Jacobs, because Daniel Jacobs, for me, hasn't been his best for a while.
He's over the hill. He's finished.
But
okay, all right. So you're trying to tell me? All right. First off, through the first 4 rounds of the David Benavidez Durrell fight, Durrell was up 3 rounds to 1. That's first off, right?
No, not in my books. Not what were you watching?
I don't know what you were watching, but that is what was happening in the fight. And if you want to look at the Georgia scorecards, you'll find that they have them the way that I had it, right? Go take a look. I don't know what the hell you guys are watching. If you're saying Daniel Jacobs is over the hill, but Billy Joe Saunders is somehow the 4th best fighter in superweight, what I'll tell you guys is that you've been smoking some good European bias. That's
No,
ridiculous.
I'm just saying that I'm just saying you're not giving no credibility to what the boxers' achievements have been in the past. And you're just going by the non-activity.
We're talking super
which is
middleweight.
why I
We
put
ain't
him
talking
into
about
number
fast. We're talking
4,
about super middleweight.
which is why I put him to number 5 because of his non-activity. Because he hasn't been fighting good opponents in the last couple of fights. So I put him into number 4. But if he was fighting better opponents, Billy Joe would be up there for me.
I know he would. I know he would, but he hasn't done anything in 168. Nothing. You guys are talking about some regular title that Rocky Fielding and then Canelo has.
Well, he sounds like Terence Crawford.
Like that's supposed to be something.
It sounds like Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford's okay wins at 140, but he ain't done fuck all at 147. But we don't say that he's shit, do we?
Okay. I would say Terence Crawford is way more proven at 147 than Billy Joe Saunders is at 168.
Well, Amir Khan was done 5 years ago.
So
Benavidez, he came back after a year and a half, long term, after being shot in the fucking leg, and then we had Kell Brook, which was best at 2014. So what do you want to tell me about that?
Okay. What I want to tell you is while you're trashing Terence Crawford, apparently you didn't look up who Billy Joe's fought at 168.
I'm not trashing. I'm saying you making a
no.
statement.
You just said that Billy Joe Saunders. No. Hold up. You keep going over that. You keep talking over me. But now let's look at Billy Joe's record at 168. We just heard you.
But you just said that.
We just heard. No, we just heard.
You just heard me run down.
We just heard you run down. We just heard you slate all of Terence Crawford's fights at 147. Right?
I said 147.
Correct at 147. Correct. Now let's look at Billy Joe Saunders at 168.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying he's not done that much.
I am, because that's what this whole thing was about.
Right. So I
said Billy Joe Saunders. You said Billy Joe Saunders at 168. When Billy Joe Saunders at 168 has done a worse job than Terence Crawford at 147.
Yeah, but I'm not going to shit on Crawford because he ain't fought great opponents at 147.
Now I know you're not going to shit on him. You just finished shitting on him. But now let's shit on Billy Joe Saunders at 168.
The win for Postal. I still got to give him the win for Gamboa, and I still got to give him the one for one of those guys. What's his name? Diaz. I think that Felix Diaz. Was that his name? I can't even remember, dude.
Cool.
The guy was 28-1. So I got to give Terence Crawford the wins that he gave at 135 and 140. But because he hasn't done much at 147, I know he hasn't been having those active fights with elite fighters, just active with C- fighters. Then I got to still be able to give him the respect of what he did before. You know what I mean?
Cool. Listen, I'm doing the same thing for Billy Joe Saunders. I'm doing the same thing for Billy Joe Saunders. And you know what? Terence Crawford's resume, regardless of what weight class, is still better than Billy Joe Saunders' resume. Like David Lemieux, fine. You like David Lemieux. David Lemieux is great against the Spike O'Sullivans of the world, right? But David Lemieux has not done a fucking thing in his career other than knock out C-class fighters, right? If you want to talk about Conor benn, Chris Eubank Jr., he's another guy that has done jack shit. And those are his two biggest wins. You want to talk about Willie Monroe? Willie Monroe is cool, but Willie Monroe can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. Billy Joe Saunders is cool. If by the eye test from his skills, I rate the guy from eye test and skills. But if you want to start talking about resumes, then you're living in a glass house.
Yeah, but the way that you talk about Kalen Plant, right, is where this started from. Kalen Plant does not have just as much chance with Canelo, just as much as Callum Smith or Billy Joe. You making out that Kalen Plant is the one. You're making out that Kalen Plant is the one who can go and beat fucking Canelo.
Oh, okay, cool. If you think
that you sound like Kalen Plant is the guy who's the one who can beat Canelo and none of the rest.
I said he has the better chance. I think Canelo beats them all. I think Caleb Plant has the best chance because of his style. But yo, I don't understand why you keep interrupting me.
I'm going to make my point straight on my fucking show, right?
But I'm still making my point. So, if you want to just talk over me, then cool. I can just go somewhere and you can just scream about the whole thing. But if you want to rebut my points, let me make my point.
You can definitely make your point, but you have to appreciate.
All right,
you can't talk about Kalen Plant.
I'm trying to, but
before you make your point, you got to appreciate on this show. You can't make Kalen Plant to be the greatest one out of everybody, and the European ones ain't next to his level.
Was the greatest. I didn't say he was the greatest.
Well, you said that.
Nobody's saying he's the greatest. Nobody's saying he's the greatest. Nobody said he was the greatest. I gave you a bunch. You came up with a bunch of Euro bums, and so I told you a bunch of Americans that'll beat the shit out of those Euro bums, and you mad about it. So
don't call them Euro bums on my show, Smoke. Have some fucking respect for boxing, bro. No, wait. You're on my show. Don't call them fucking Euro bums, or I kick your fucking ass out there, bro.
That's what they are.
No, don't say that shit, you fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Don't call them bums. They're boxers. You would have lost fucking 30 seconds in a round, you little fuck.
When we call them Euro bums.
You know, don't call them bums though in my show. You go take that somewhere else, bro.
Okay, then let me finish it.
Yeah, but at least have the respect for the game and have the respect for the European fighters and have the respect for the integrity of the sport. Wait. This is my show, bro. At least have the level of the conversation with me.
Yeah.
Say, look, this is your show. I will respect the game. I won't call them bums. And rap star. Wait. Don't talk over me. Say rap star. No. Say rap star. This is your show. I won't do that. And I was wrong. And then we carry on, bro.
All right, just real quickly, guys. Hang on. Hang on. Just stop for a second. Just
is everybody talking at me, or can I finish my?
But you got to appreciate. Some people don't like that kind of talk, Smoke.
Hey, Rapstar, I did not create the word bum, right? I didn't do it, and I will call Americans bums also. So if you don't feel, so you don't get your.
But can you please do that somewhere else, Smoke?
Bum, but I didn't create it. This is something that exists in boxing. The terminology bum. If this is too hard for your ears, if that's too much, if that offends your sensibilities, I'm sorry, but then you're in the wrong sport.
But just respect my show then, all right? If they do it elsewhere, I don't give a fuck.
At this point, you're not respecting me.
No, but you got to respect my show and don't call them things like that.
At this point, your show's disrespecting me.
No, but if you're going to be an idiot...
And you keep interrupting me to go off these tires.
Well, then I'll just kick your ass off, but I want to give you a chance.
I'm trying, but you're not giving me a chance. You're not.
So we start again. We start again. All right. Let's be grown men about it. We start again.
Yeah, great. So let me have my opinion, and then you can feel however you want about my opinion.
All right, but just don't say that anymore in my show, okay?
Listen, stop telling me how to speak.
Well, then, if you don't have the respect for my show, then don't speak.
I have the respect for boxing, dude.
Right, Smokey, just real quick. Just hang on. Can I just, before you start what you want to say, can I just say one thing, please? Right. Now, this is a situation. Now, listen. The super middleweight division, the middleweight division, is a very highly, same as a lightweight division, it's a very high debate situation because there's a lot of contenders in the UK and America. Right, we understand that, and they're all good fighters. Don't get me wrong; they're all world champion contenders. There's no doubt about that. Everyone we're mentioning, but it's about defining it down and putting it down to the few 2 to 3 to 4 blokes that are the 4 that are the legit contenders. Forget about the guys that are maybe coming up. Let's be legit. Let's talk serious, professional men talk here. No bullshit. Don't cut each other off, and let's be serious about it because this is a great conversation. I really enjoy this, especially the middleweight because I never talk about middleweight. I always talk about heavyweight. So let's continue, Smokey. Go right ahead, big fella.
Right. So, we're looking at the skills test, right? The skills test. I think that the guys who have the best shot, but their skill set, right, against Canelo would be Billy Joe Saunders and a Caleb Plant. I think that's just based on the skills. But on the matchup, I think actually it's David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, right? The styles that Billy Joe fights and the style that Caleb Plant is the kind of styles that have given Canelo trouble in the past. The kind of style that Benavidez has and the kind of style that Smith has does not give Canelo problems. He likes a guy that stands there and he's able to hit. The thing that Benavidez has that Smith does not have is the volume of punches and I believe the power and also the variety of punches. So I think that even Benavidez with the style that doesn't match up very well against Canelo, he still has something to offset that. I don't think Smith has that, period. Like Billy Joe Saunders, I think is a better matchup, a better fight against Canelo than Callum Smith is. But I will say that Callum Smith is third, at least most accomplished, and at this point the best super middleweight. But I also have to preface that there's a caveat. John Ryder looked to be as good as Smith, and I don't rate John Ryder that highly.
Right, you fix your mic a little bit there, buddy, because it's a bit jumpy at the second. Well, that's right. You know, there's definitely blokes in there that could really do some damage. I agree, but I would say Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith are the two that would probably, in my opinion, would give the best matchup for Canelo. But I guess time will tell, won't it?
Yeah, like there's to me, there's nothing that Billy Joe Saunders does better than Caleb Plant, and there's stuff that Caleb Plant does that's better than Billy Joe Saunders.
Mm.
Hey, listen,
Well, I was just
at
gonna.
the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, Smoke, you got your opinions. I appreciate those, right? Of course. If that's how you feel about those fighters, then of course. But all I'm saying is, yeah, I know what you're saying, Smoke and Kangaroo. There is shows out there. They do trash on fighters out here on YouTube. They do. So I don't blame Smoke for being like that because some of the shows are like that. But just please don't be like that in my show. Do you see what I'm saying? That's all I ask. All right, Smoke?
Look, man. Respect me, and I'll respect you. That's it. Like if you
Yeah.
when you come with the dissing me, then this is what you'll get back. You know, listen.
No,
When
no, no, but no.
there's no
What I'm saying
that's
is,
it.
I'm not dissing you. I just
No,
asked you nicely, and that's
no.
it, man. We don't need to talk about it anymore. I come from a different fraternity. I have a different way of thinking. I don't like talking about boxing like that. I have a different way, and I just say low competition or low opposition. This guy's not that great. I have a different way of doing my show, and it's not just you, Smoke. I'm gonna put every motherfucking person straight like that in my show, bro.
Hey,
Not
look,
just you.
and I don't mind, and I don't mind that kind of thing. But if you start
Thanks.
talking over me, for all of that stuff, like when I'm in the middle of the thing, that is a pet peeve of mine, right? And that's not even about a show or anything. That's just me. So if you're
All right, cool.
start treating me that way, then guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna start getting my real unadulterated feelings about a subject. Because I'll try to be polite, but if we're gonna throw politeness out the window, then let's just throw it out the window.
Yeah, but it only
Can
takes
we?
me 1
Can
second. Look,
can
look, look.
we?
What I'm saying is, though, Kangaroo, if I want to be petty about it, and my show's free smoke, I can take 1 second and take your ass out like other shows do smoke,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I don't mind.
And I don't need to talk about it anymore.
Hey, I don't mind.
I rather we be grown men about it. And because I love boxing, you love boxing, Kangaroo love boxing, all my viewers love boxing, so I love that kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? We
Oh
just
yeah.
love bull boxing, right?
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
think healthy.
saying.
I
I'm not
think healthy. Hang on,
like
Smokey. I think healthy debate. I think healthy debate is always good because let's just say I think yesterday when I come into Smokey's room, I mean he's a very knowledgeable boxer, and I want to hear a lot about what the American fighters are because I don't know anything about these American fighters. Like very similar to the lightweight division, there's a lot of fighters in there that I'd like to get hear about and what people's thoughts are. Like Easter, Haney, Campbell in the United Kingdom, Garcia. There's a lot of blokes that we still can talk about in the next hour or so, but I can't wait really.
No, look, at the end of the day, right? I just like, look, even the other day I went on a show, they started being abusive about it. They started being trashy about it. It's not for me. You know what I mean? I'm not in that kind of atmosphere. I like keeping my shit straight. You can keep it factual, but maybe I'm wrong. I will admit sometimes I get loud and I overtalk somebody on my show. And Smokes is right. If I just give him his opinion, then I can go and say what I need to say. You know what I mean? So it kind of like works that way, but it is my show. And listen, Smoke, you got to respect. I'm not being in a way where if you don't say something I like, I kick you off. That's what they do to me, Smoke. Everywhere when I go and put my opinion, sometimes in the American shows, they just kick me off because they don't like hearing it. Like if they want to talk about something, they don't want to give me my opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I actually agree with you that people throw the word bum around way too much, right? But they becomes a point where it becomes intellectually dishonest. Like when you say when you're trying to compare one guy to another, and you just start trashing the other guy without actually doing the comparison, right? So then, right, so John Ryder, and Counter Smith would beat the holy hell out of him, right? So I'm not talking about how I'm better than these guys in a boxing match. And not only that, I think they actually beat the hell out of bums. So it's not really that I'm calling them bums, right? That's not really what the issue is. The issue is once you start comparing guys who are probably going to be in the Hall of Fame to guys who have no shot to be in the Hall of Fame, trying to make a one-to-one comparison, it becomes an exercise in absurdity to me.
And that's cool, bro. But like I said, bro, at the end of the day, I have a different terminology. I'm a bit old school. I do like, fighters. I normally rate fighters as C minus, even down to D or B. And it puts me into like an atmosphere where people understand me when I mean elite, not that great, good. So it's just the way I come from. And even the people, there's going to be a lot of people, Kangaroo, who's not going to come on my show because they do want to be crazy about this shit. They do want to be disrespectful, and I'm not going to be able to have that kind of show. You know what I mean?
No, right. That came out as when we were starting to compare Bud's resume to John Ryder's resume. Like, all right, then stuff like that comes out. But just as a thing, Rapstar, I'm gonna let you know. Guys who are in the Hall of Fame, right? Hall of Fame writers, Hall of Fame pundits, call guys bums that turned out to be champs and great later on, right? That just happens in the sport. I'm saying,
Hey,
like,
let me tell you what it is.
listen to
I
Larry.
have some friends, yeah. I have
James
some
Smith.
friends in the game with me, and some of them, they never made it well. But then they're really badass killers on the street. These guys might have had a professional record of, like, let's say 2 wins and 9 losses, and that's classed as a journeyman. But they're strong motherfuckers. They just couldn't make it in the pro. And you got to appreciate that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the younger guys making their records. So the boxing fraternity needs everyone, Kangaroo. You know what I mean? And any man who goes in that ring, he's virtually risking some part of his, even at some point, his life if he's not that great for the fun and the entertainment of for us. So it's just where I come from. Maybe I'm old. I'm coming close to 40, man. I'm not a young kid. You know what I mean? I come from a different background, bro.
Hey, Rapstar. This February I'll be 50 years old, right? So I'm on the last legs of my 40s, right?
Okay.
Let me just put it into perspective. Larry Merchant called Bone Crusher Smith a bum. Bone Crusher Smith turned out to be a champion, and he called him a bum going into a fight against Larry Holmes. I'm just saying, like, this is just the way it is, man. Like, people get offended, they can have their neck, like, but.
Look, I appreciate it. Look, even Puncher's got that rule. After I made that rule,
but it's not really meant as a. Okay, so it is a disrespectful thing, but I was speaking in context of the comparison, not really just putting those guys just in in a vacuum, right? Just if you were to just look at Callum Smith's resume and his career just by itself, standalone, it's fine. He's completely not a bum. Right? And I'm not suggesting that he is. It was only just in comparison when we started talking about other guys.
Yeah, but even Callum Smith's a world class opponent. But what I'm saying is, even fighters which are like we said, like the Tom Littles and all that. Some of these guys from England, they're just like you, Smoke. They come onto my podcast and they'll say, "Nah, he's a fucking bum. He's a trash head. He's a fucking scum." And I just kick him off. I say, because the reason why, you've got to give that guy at least appreciation that he's giving that chance to guy to have a record, right? So we need journeymen. So just say he's a journeyman. And some of these guys, they don't get it. So what I did, I lost some subscribers, Kangaroo, in the beginning. I lost about 100, 150 trolls. I've lost quite a lot. I had over 2,000. Now I'm at 1,500. But I'm cleaning up my channel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And calling a journeyman a bum is a lot closer to the truth of the matter than calling somebody like Callum Smith a bum, right? Or Billy Joe Saunders a bum.
Yeah, for sure. But look, like I said, man.
Let's just put all my cards on the table, right? And even journeymen, even if you wanted to classify them as bums, I hear what you're saying. Let's not do it. The terminology, right? But
thanks.
What I'm just saying is I'm just trying to clarify the way I was using it and why.
No, perfectly. I appreciate how you broke it down. You mean nothing by it. But where we come from in England, it is what it is. Let's just leave this situation. But just on Rapstar's channel, if you don't mind, let's not use those phrases. You can do what the fuck you want afterwards. I don't give a fuck. But
we've got a comment here. We got a comment here. They just said Billy Joe is number 2 by Tracy in Tracy. Billy Joe is number 2 in the super middleweight division. He's got amazing boxing IQ. That's true.
And Billy Joe Saunders has done absolutely nothing at super middleweight to give you that impression, but that's okay. Who's the number 1 guy?
No, because some people have been watching him from the amateur. They've seen that, there's some fights. When he went in, he consistently was dominating fights at 160. It's just what it is, Smoke. There's a lot of people been watching him from a different eye than you from England. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's fine. And I'm not mad at people being supportive of their fighters for whatever reason they're supportive of their fighters. If they're their local guys, or they just like the style, they just like his personality. Like you were just saying, like somebody because they like their story and so they're gonna watch him. Fine. All of that is part of the sport, and I'm not going to knock anybody for that. But there's also the actually matchups. When you say something like ring IQ, now you're talking about one of the criterias. You're talking about something that goes into winning a fight. You're not just talking about why you like them. You're talking about the technicals now, right? So when you're looking at the technique, right, the technicals of a fighter, he's good. It's not like Billy Joe Saunders is bad, right? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, how does he get to number 2? What about all those other guys and their technicals?
Well, that's right. Who in your opinion are the top 5 best heavyweights of all time? Well, that's a good that's a good question because there's so many great heavyweights of past years.
Man, one of my favorite heavyweights is Mike Tyson, only because of his ferocious time where he had as a kid and what he did as a young lad. I've never seen any man go out there and shake the world like that when he was young in his prime. There's a lot of great heavyweights, man. We can't even forget about. I mean, Ali was bigger than any heavyweight, so it's hard to say, man. Very hard, isn't it?
Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys that I saw
George
fight,
Foreman, crazy amount.
yeah,
Rocky Marciano.
there's the guys that I saw fight, right, whose careers I actually were able to witness, and I can do a top 5 that way. And then there's a top 5 of through my historical research. But then there's the top 5 of guys whose best weight wasn't heavyweight, but they also achieved at heavyweight. Like the Archie Moores of the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or Sam Langford. But yeah, for the top 5 that I've seen, I would go Ali number 1. I guess Holmes number 2, Lennox number 3. Ooh, wow. I guess Foreman number 4, and Holyfield number 5.
That's not a. I wouldn't argue with that. I mean, but there's definitely they're all Hall of Famers. There's no doubt about that. Some of the best boxers to ever step foot on the planet. So, well, my top 5, and it goes by. I've watched a lot of replays of a lot of these fighters, but even at crap TV, like bad replay vision. But still, I still believe they're some of the best. For me, number 1, the best heavyweights in the world of all time would probably be number 1, Larry Holmes.
Wow.
Number 2, Jack Dempsey. Number 3, Muhammad Ali. Number 4, Evander Holyfield. And number 5, Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got their own favorites, you can't argue with that. Some people got different people in their favorites, like me. I've got Muhammad Ali. I've got Mike Tyson. I've got George Foreman for what he did when he came back again. Everybody's got their own views of heavyweights. I got Lennox Lewis, bro, because the man retained his titles back from everyone who beat him. So in my eyes, he didn't even lose. And it all depends who you favored at the time as a heavyweight. And it all just depends what fights you enjoyed from that heavyweight. And so, for me, Lennox Lewis was a lineal champion. I got to put him in my top 5. And again, there's fighters like old school fighters, right? That people don't talk about Joe Louis as much. But when I started watching some of him, I mean, his early days, he was a monster in the ring. You know what I mean? That guy was dominated fighter, Joe Louis, and he was just at a time where Joe Louis was the man until Rocky Marciano came along. But look, I think it's all to do with heavyweight's very hard. We really got to do top 10. Top 5 gets harder, There's so many great heavyweights there that you got to mention, and you get pissed off. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, Tim Witherspoon. I don't know if you've ever watched Tim Witherspoon's highlights, but he was also a very good heavyweight.
Yeah, Tim Witherspoon was real good. He had some dietary issues, so he had this string of losses where they couldn't figure out that he had, like, I think it was egg allergies or something. So he had this string of losses right in the beginning, right in the middle. But that whole carousel of WBA heavyweights, they have some good guys. Big John Tate, Mike Weaver, Tim Witherspoon, Michael Dokes. Yeah, there's some good guys in there.
I think, would it be reasonable? Is there a debate to say that? Is there a debate to say Vladimir Klitschko that should be in that top 5? Now, I don't personally like him as a fighter. Like, I don't see. For me, I don't really rate him as a boxer. But even though he's one of the best heavyweights of all time,
How many
he
times
held
did he
the
defend his
titles.
title? How many times did he
I think
defend it?
It depends on which title you're talking about, right? And what and when it was like. So, for me, he is not one of the best that ever did it. Like every single guy that I think who is the best that ever did it beats Vladimir Klitschko. As a matter of fact, I think his brother beats him. Like if they would have fought, and nobody says Vitaly is the best that ever did it, right?
Well, that's right. Vitaly, yeah, he's also very good.
So would none of you have like, let's say, Sonny Liston in there?
Listen, Sonny Liston was a hell of a fighter. As a matter of fact, I think Sonny Liston is why Marciano retired. It had nothing to do with like his greatness. Like Sonny Liston is the. I could see why somebody would have him as their favorite heavyweight.
He wouldn't be in my top 5, but he would be in my top 10.
Yeah. I mean, what about Ernie Shavers, the hardest hitter of some people say of all time, bro? Ernie Shavers.
He was good. He was good, but he was just, he was dinking and he was all right. He was one of those guys that, I mean, he was good. He's good. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Like outside of saying he's one of the hardest hitters, I don't know what else you say about him.
Yeah, I think what they do say about him.
I think people underestimate. I think people, Michael Spinks, he's also very good, but also Larry Holmes. I've watched plenty of his fights, and he's unbelievable, like unfucking believable.
Yeah, Larry.
One of the best
jab ever.
He is just the beast. The way he controlled the ring was unbelievable. That guy.
I think Evander Holyfield, the reason why he gets somewhere in somebody's top 10s is because he achieved greatness at cruiserweight and he achieved greatness at heavyweight. You know what I mean? And there's not many people who could say they've achieved greatness in both weights like that.
And he was, he was undisputed. He was lineal. He was, he beat Hall of Famers. He was in there with everybody.
Yeah.
If you want to say Jersey Joe Walcott to the world, the Archie Moore, all that stuff, like there's just great ones throughout the whole thing. Like I have an issue with fighters like Jack Dempsey that didn't fight black people and stuff like that. But I can see if you're gonna say it.
Would it be if we were to say
I'm awake, Tommy.
The reason why I don't know if this is a valid point, but when Mike Tyson later in his career, where he was just taking fights for money, would that reflect your decision where you put him in your top 10? Because I believe when he was in his heyday, he beats any heavyweight in past history.
I didn't even think he beat Lennox Lewis. My boy didn't think he beat Evander Holyfield. Like people during this time didn't think he would beat other fighters during this time if you actually watched the sport and weren't just a fan of Mike Tyson. Like people in the amateurs were like, from those guys being amateurs, we're looking forward to Holyfield, Mike Tyson, and a bunch of people had Holyfield winning that fight when they were amateurs.
Hey, before I introduce this other guy on the platform, everybody like and subscribe, press the notification, you know what I mean? And how's it going, bro? Who's this? And please introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? My name's Tommy Temper. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. So we're talking about everybody has different heavyweights as favorites. So we're just stuck in this conversation at the moment. Do you have any great heavyweights that you would like to talk about in your top 5?
Oh, I've got favorites. I don't do top 5s. I don't do pound for pounds because it starts too many arguments. Heavyweights. Have you guys already talked about Ali?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Holyfield. I thought he was amazing, considering that he was 6'3", and the power he could generate. Oh, he was something special.
That's a great thing about heavyweight boxing with these past generations, and it's so good to see the heavyweight division at the moment thriving, because the big guys. When the big guys are thriving, I think boxing thrives. I don't know who would agree with that, but that's my opinion.
Yep.
And at the moment, there's so many potential fights that can happen, and there's so many up and coming heavyweights at this second. You know, blokes like bloody Dubois, Joe Joyce could potentially get a title fight event.
What do you guys think about the new super cruiserweight division?
Have they announced the new weight division yet?
Only the WBC has.
They're looking to do, what is that, 210 pounds or 215?
I've heard two different measurements. I've heard between 200 and 224, and I've also heard that they might roll back the weight division back to 190, the way it used to be.
I don't know. That's crazy because 224. There's so many heavyweights come in at that weight anyway.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be hard if you're heavyweight to drop maybe 20, 25 pounds just to make that weight.
But then I think the thing that I don't like about it all is it's too many belts. There's too many. I find it hard to, like Smokey before was saying with the WBA regular title and all these regular titles going around. I just don't understand it because there's people that win WBA World Heavyweight titles or WBA titles, regular titles, and you know they're passed as world champions. And you look at them as world champions, you give them the benefit of the doubt. But then again, you just don't know anymore. There's way too many titles going around. I mean, one of us could win a world title in a certain way. We could go and have a little go in a fight, try and win a world title, or a WBA Intercontinental title.
Or they call it the CBA, the Casual Boxing Association.
That's a good
one.
Yeah,
there's just you just got to understand what boxing is and how it happens. You know, if you coming from a guy like me, when there was two recognized sanctioning bodies and one belt for every division, like one belt in every division, right? Or two belts in every division. Now there's more divisions and more sanctioning bodies. That is the way of the future. There's going to be more divisions and more sanctioning bodies. The WBC, they have like 4 different belts. Like WBA is pretty bad with their, what do they have? They have 3 or 4. What is it? They have the regular, the super, the interim, right? So they have 3 belts for every division. I think the WBC has at least 4 or 5 with their diamonds and their silvers and all that stuff.
Yeah, but let's look at this as a fan's point of view. Do we get more fights because of more sanctioning bodies out there and there's more belts out there? Do we get more attractions and more fights out of it as fans?
Well, when they did all those tweeny weights, right, we got more fights, but does anybody watch them?
I mean, I watched Tanaka. I watched Monster Nui.
Right, those are 2 guys, and there's like 5 weights down there.
Yeah, man,
there's a minimum. There's a minimum weight. There's a minimum weight as well.
And there's a straw weight.
Hey, there's weights. My girlfriend's bigger than some of those guys.
I'm telling you, my teenage daughter is bigger than those guys. Like,
and my girlfriend's tiny. Smoke. My girlfriend's only 5'1". 5'4".
That's why I've never agreed with the whole pound for pound thing. I mean, I have a view on pound for pound that I don't. I just, when people mention pound for pound to me, or I hear it on media or on news, I just think to myself, what the fuck is pound for pound? Like, pound for pound, let's put in that Garcia guy from America, the young lad, in 5 years' time, pound for pound, put him up against pound for pound Dubois, pound for pound.
Well, pound for pound.
Pound for pound. It's bullshit. Forget about it. Care about what
is that your style can beat any style at most weights wherever you go.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about putting heavyweights in your pound for pound, because you don't have to be the best at heavyweight. You can pick all the guys that F.A. Ajagba knocked out, right? All those guys beats Canelo.
Well, don't go too far, Jesus Christ.
No, they do. They do. That's the issue. That's really the issue. That Canelo can't beat anybody that F.A. Ajagba fought.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Pound for well, there was talks that fucking at one time that Canelo was going to move up to cruiserweight. So you just
yeah,
you just
okay, let him
know.
move up there. Let him move up there and see it. But I didn't even say cruiserweight. I said F.A. Jogba, heavyweight, right?
God,
let him go and get let Canelo fight Mansoor. Let's see what happens.
No, but
how much? Go ahead.
Sorry, I think this pound for pound is also very overrated because people are actually keeping what people did 3-4 years ago and then putting them in the pound for pound. And they're actually, when they were relevant in 2017, now they're pound for pound right now. But what the fuck have you done for me lately? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the pound for pound, you're still ahead of the guy who's more active at the moment, fighting better opposition. No, but this is what he did. But this is what he did in 2017, bruv. So that's why he's on the fucking pound for pound. So I'm like,
well,
okay. So I said, so this is a new question I got for everybody. How many years do you want to put in the pound for pound? I'm going by 2 years. I mean, 2 years is enough. 2 years shows me that what you've done in 2 years should be in the pound for pound because that means that's how relevant you are. You know what I mean?
You mean the last 2 years?
Yeah. So the last 2 years is the maximum we should go by, not 4 years back or 3 years back.
Yeah. You're only as good as your last fight.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I give you look, some fighters now only fight fucking 1 fight or 2 fights a year.
Yep.
So I give them 2 years. You've had your 3-4 fights. Okay, this is where your ranking should be in the pound for pound. Because you fought such great oppositions. You fought people which were world champions. You went and beat a guy which was unified. And then you even went up a weight and unified. Okay, you deserve a really good spot. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you even went up a weight and unified against that champion who had 2 titles. So you really deserve a pound for pound slot. But what I don't understand about the pound for pound is when they tell me, well, this guy did this 2017, so I'm putting him ahead of this guy. And it feels to me you've got to kind of put hey, Smoke, have you heard of it? Every channel's got a different view of how they view the pound for pound. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah,
Smoke?
It's crazy.
So for me, there's definitely a generational thing, right? For me, I remember pound for pound, and I still keep pound for pound as his skills list. To me, at this point, it turned into a resume list. It's not really about skills at all. It's just about your latest resume, right? So the issue that I have with even what your criteria is, activity and time, it doesn't say what skill level you're at, right? So just because a guy is inactive, right, it does not mean that he can't fight. Just because a guy has fought a low-level competition doesn't mean that he won't whoop the fuck out of a high-level competition, right? For me, it's been about skills. It's about being a complete fighter, and then the resume and who you fought and all that activity becomes secondary. It's not. For some reason, people completely overlook the skill level, and I think that's because there's just a lot of new fans in here giving their pound for pound list, and they don't know what they're actually seeing in the ring.
So basically, your one is on skill, and it doesn't matter even if they fight anybody. You don't care who they fight. So the level of opposition, let me speak.
As long as you've proven your skills at the highest level, then you didn't stop doing that. Like, right? So if you've proven your skill set against Manny Pacquiao already, it doesn't matter that it was 3 years ago. You already proved your skill set, right? Unless you've seen the skills deteriorate, then you have a different conversation.
So what about
if you already proved your skills actually translate to the highest level? Then what
about ring rust and activity?
But what I like to ask you, Smoke, before I give it to the next guy, is if the level of opposition haven't been A or B class fighters, and they've just been fighters which have been only relevant 3-4 years ago on a consistent basis of 2-3 years, should your pound for pound not actually decline because you haven't fought relevant opponents?
Right. So here's the thing.
Tell me about that one.
No, I'm going to answer. I'm answering your question with like a real example, right? Yeah. So you take a guy like Jaron Ennis, right? Boots Ennis, who has by the skill. He seems like a really skilled fighter. There is no way to put that guy on a pound for pound list because he has fought absolutely nobody. Then you take a guy like Teofimo, who doesn't have the best skills in the world, but he proved his skills translate to the highest level against one of the best skilled guys in Lomachenko. How do you actually rate that guy? And or you take a guy like Gary Russell Jr., who wasn't active, who fights and defends his champion at the level that the featherweight has, that will actually fight him, but his skills never deteriorate. He doesn't look like he's regressed as a fighter. He just only fights one time a year. Where do you rate this guy, man?
I shouldn't have. Well, that's what I'm saying. I shouldn't have mentioned pound for pound because when you hit, whose mic is that? It sounds very weird. Someone's mic is going all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, everybody mute then. Let's see who it is. Okay, mute Smoke. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Smoke.
It was Smoke. Okay, my Smoke, just mute when you don't speak then. And then
I do rap. It's you. It's you with the it's your mic.
I know. Have you muted?
Yes, I do it every time. It's your mic.
My own mic?
Check the stream.
Yeah, if you mute yourself when he talks, then you won't get it.
No, actually, I'm hearing it when I'm muting my own self. I'm hearing it.
Right, I'm going to mute now.
Okay, speak now. There's
yes.
Nothing. There's no cracking then.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, pound for pound. Okay, pound for pound. I shouldn't have mentioned it, but this is the thing with pound for pound. I've watched a debate on it once before, and I hate hearing about it because it's like saying if this one was this one, he'd beat that one, or blah blah blah. It's like saying, and I don't care what anyone says, regardless of what. At the moment, they've got Canelo Alvarez at top as pound for pound, right? Now, let me tell you, if Canelo Alvarez was pound for pound the best in the world, let's get Canelo Alvarez, put him on your shoulders, Smokey, and pound for pound him with Tyson Fury. You know, put them in the ring together, pound for pound. You know, get real with pound for pound. Honestly, scrap it. Whoever the heavyweight champion is pound for pound the best. Now, at the moment, it's a toss-up between AJ and Tyson Fury. They're the pound for pound best on the planet. They're the ones you're going to pick to come in and teach you how to brawl. You're not going to teach, you know, that's just my opinion.
But your opinion, I get what you're saying, but you're going to the top of the heavyweight division. And really the pound for pound list was created to give, to market the guys who aren't heavyweights. Heavyweights are the glamour division. Everybody knows who they are. So when boxing was trying to promote other weight classes, they came up with this pound for pound list, right? Or this pound for pound designation, not even a list. The lists were born out of that whole idea of marketing smaller fighters. You don't have to go to Tyson Fury to beat a pound for pound guy. Loma was top 3 pound for pound before the Tio fight. If you put him against Tom Schwartz or Otto Wallin, Loma will get his ass killed. You don't need to fight Tyson Fury. You can fight Tyson Fury's low level rap star. Shout out to rap star. His low level opponents like Sebastian Fury.
Does it take the does it take away the I don't know the accolade for the heavyweight to be the number one the boxer on the planet? You know, like when everyone's sitting around talking about pound for pound all the time. You see what I'm trying to say?
The problem is heavyweight. You don't have to be a very good boxer to be the best at heavyweight, right? Because those dudes are so big they can turn you off with one shot. So the results are different than the actual skill level. Like there are very few people even after that victory who are saying Teofimo Lopez is a more skilled fighter than Lomachenko.
I don't know. Look, let's think about it this way. When Mike Tyson in 1993 or 95, I don't know what it was, he was considered the baddest man on the planet, right? So it's always the heavyweight which really is considered the baddest man on the planet. But was Roy Jones considered the pound for pound guy?
Yeah, he was considered pound for pound guy.
See, so I think this thing has been going on where the heavyweights got their own crowns, where they're bigger than pound for pound guys, if that makes sense to everyone. But the pound for pound guys share the attraction of who's the baddest man, like away from the heavyweight, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Correct. It gives you a chance to look at fighters like Monster that you would never actually consider, right? Because he's just down there obscure, you know, he's fighting those Lilliputian fighters, right? So if you want to hear the name about Monster, then you got to go to a pound for pound list and you go, oh, well, who's this guy's Inoue? Let me see his fight.
You know, like at the moment, like, and this is, you know, blokes like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Fury. You know, they're the heavyweights. Sometimes I think Deontay Wilder's a cruiserweight, but I thought he was a cruiserweight all along. For a long time before I watched him fight and seen the equalizer that he has, I feel like he could go down the cruiserweight and win world titles there. But at the moment, you know, the biggest conversation, the best conversations to have is the heavyweights. When we talk about the best boxers in the world, we talk about the heavyweights. That's my opinion.
That's always been that way, though, from when we've been young kids. We've always, the attraction of the heavyweight was the biggest attraction in the world, you know? And heavyweight boxers have become, at some point, the talk of the town more than the presidents of the country. So, you know what I mean? You got to appreciate the heavyweight boxing comes with a lot of weight around the world. You know, you become a superstar, don't you, when you're heavyweight? Let's be honest.
Well, they are. You know, and this hasn't happened. Like, I'm 20 years old, and I've never seen a heavyweight talk like this ever in my life. Hughes might have back in the day, but I haven't. But this is the first time I've ever seen it. Now, like when Tyson Fury fight any fight, the pubs here are full. Everyone's going down to see the Gypsy King, you know, and Anthony Joshua is the same.
But my friends have told me the same thing about Wilder, that when they're in America and he has those fights, they fill up the bars there too. You know, so heavyweight has a lot of attraction in different.
Nobody would have known Wilder if he didn't fight Tyson Fury. Like, no one ever talked about him.
In America, they did know him.
It's about it's really just about the broadcasters that you have in your country. If you get Sky Sports, then those are your guys, right? If you get ESPN, then it's a different thing. If you get Fox, it's a different thing. It's just who a network is pushing. But the pound for pound lists are for guys like Chocolatito that you would never actually hear about him unless there was a pound for pound list.
Or Lopez or something. You wouldn't hear about him if it was pound for pound coming up the list. Because that's what they're talking about at the moment. People are coming up from other weight divisions into the pound for pound list. But they do add the heavyweights in the pound for pound list. That's what makes it confusing for me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some people do. Not all the people. Some people actually do and some don't. Like I said, different broadcasts, different channels have their own way of debating the pound for pound. Does that make sense? So they only have their own rules.
Do they bring in something in the heavyweight division, like the lineal status? You know, I believe that's still relevant. Maybe they bring in something like that. Whoever holds all the titles, whoever has the best record in the heavyweight division, maybe call it something fancy. You know, I don't know, but
we get the ring as well.
Yeah, they have the ring, but they have the ring in every division. The issue with lineal also is in every division, but they've now muddied the waters as to what the lineal means because of ring. Like there's now a ring lineal and an actual lineal. That started with Vladimir Klitschko, and it continued with Tyson Fury. Like Tyson Fury's lineal championship is actually the ring lineal and is not the actual lineal.
I'm considering bringing in one of my own lineal titles, the solo lineal, the lineal solo, SOLO lineal. One of the best on the planet.
Hey, while we've been speaking, I've got so carried away. I forgot about the chat, so I just want to say, Jed Cole says, "What's up?" Yeah, what's up, Jed? Subscribe to the channel. He's already subscribed. Rahul, subscribe to the channel, bro. What's going on? Who is this now? We've got somebody else here. I don't know what her name is. I forgot her name. She asked for it. She sent a question. Oh, she was the one who sent the question for the heavyweights.
Yes.
Yep. Tammy. All right. Well, nice. Well, look, at the end of the day, everyone's got their own preferences in what fighters they like in the heavyweight. It was always the fights that some people went in history like I did, and I had to look back and see what other fighters bring to the table. But I think if you name your best 3 heavyweights today, let's go with Smoke. Who's your best 3 heavyweights now?
Oh man, that's easy. The same 3 that's been to the last 3 years. Tyson Fury. Actually, last 2 years. Tyson Fury, AJ, Wilder.
Who you got, Kangaroo?
Well, I've been thinking about this since yesterday and last night. Who my number 3 is, because last night I actually had Deontay Wilder at number 2, but I've actually changed my opinion on it because I'm going by now who I'd have legitimately, who I'd back, who I'd put money on. So for me, I think the top 3 best heavyweights on the planet right now would be Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua,
Right.
and I'm gonna put I'm gonna say it because I watched his replay. I've watched 2 of his Andy Ruiz Jr. number 3.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Andy Ruiz Jr. put a good account of himself when he was focused.
Oh yeah, because I don't know how you can't have him at the moment.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is he there?
Yeah, who's the other gentleman again?
Tommy.
Oh,
Tommy,
sorry.
no?
Yeah, that's me. I'm gonna play this safe. I'm gonna go Fury, Wilder, Joshua. Because bear in mind, Fury's only had 1 loss. Oh, sorry, not Fury. Fuck, Wilder.
Yeah.
Well, who would have? Who's okay? Well, let's make it. Let's widen the branch a little bit. Top 10. All right, come on. Let's make it top 10.
Well, I'm
Top
gonna
10.
go with my 3 first. Anyway, my 3s are boring, maybe for you guys, but it's Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Wilder. That's the way I got it right now. Simple.
I thought you were going to throw someone like Michael. I thought you were going to throw someone like Michael Hunter in there. I was going to be like, what?
Hey, listen, if Usyk would have knocked out Derek Chisora, I would have changed my mind, but that didn't happen. So, you know.
Yeah, I thought that fight was a draw, but that's just me.
Yeah, there you go. Usyk might not be able to handle those big guys, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so we'll do, I reckon, top 10 heavyweights on the planet, because there's so many heavyweights that have hit pay-per-view numbers, been up there, had their chances, and everything else. I reckon, what do you reckon, Smokey? You started off, big fella?
Well, let me finish. Let me start, then Smoke can go. I'm going to put Andy Ruiz in there, Usyk in there. I'm going to put Dylan White in there. I'm going to have to put, I don't know if Povetkin's just knocked the fuck out of Dylan White. Fuck. He just fucking put him to sleep for life. I mean, shit, man. He really put him to sleep. So if I'm going to put Dylan in there, I definitely got to put Povetkin in there.
Start off from number 1, though. Start from number 1 all the way down and count it on my fingers so we can get the idea of what you're putting on your numbers.
Yeah, Tyson, Anthony, Deontay, Ruiz, Usyk. No. I'm not going to go Usyk there. I'm going to go Joseph Parker. Then I'm going Usyk. And then we've got... I mean, we've got some fighters coming up right now. I don't even know whether... I don't know. I've got to watch this Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce fight still this Saturday. I'm going to put the winner in there.
Yeah, I'm watching that one as well.
I'm putting the winner in there, and I'm going with Daniel Dubois. But if I'm going to put one more, Hrgović. Oh God! Don't get started on Perkovic. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Smoke.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go Fury, Wilder, AJ, Ruiz, Ortiz, White, Povetkin. Oh, sorry, Povetkin, White. Where am I at? I'm not quite sure how many that is. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 guys underneath them, so that's 6. I already got that's 7. I got 7, right? So let me say it again. Sorry. Tyson Fury 1, Deontay Wilder 2, Anthony Joshua 3, Ruiz 4, Povetkin, I'll go 5, Ortiz 6, Dillian White 7, and shit. Oh, pardon my French. It gets slim pickings. I guess I'll go with Joseph Parker at 8, and then Charles Martin at 9.
Fuck.
And with the number 10th fighter, can I get a guy who's not a prospect? I guess I got to go with Kubrat Pulev at 10.
I'll go for Bavik. Babic.
My yes, the Savage.
Savage Babic.
Yeah, my top 10 would be Fury, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz,
wow,
Deontay Wilder, Ortiz number 5, Rivas number 6, 7 Parker, number 8 Povetkin. I think Dillian White was outboxing him, so that's why I have Povetkin down lower. So even though he got the W in the rematch, if they do have the rematch, whenever, I think White will get the number. Number 9, I'm going to put Dubois.
Okay,
number 10,
like I did.
Number 10, I'm going to put Derek Chisora.
Oh my God, Derek's coming back in the top 10, bro.
No, I just think he's got that. I just think at the moment he looks fitter, and in the fight against Usyk, he looked good. If Usyk wasn't running around like Floyd Mayweather for 12 rounds, he might have got him.
D Hodges in the house. What's up, D Hodges?
How you doing,
Can I
my
ask you a
buddy?
question, Kangaroo? Oh, sorry, D.
Say hi,
Hodges, what's up, man?
How you doing, my brother? You know I had to stop in for a minute, say hello to my good man.
All right, you need to give me your top 10 heavyweights because we're on this rolling ball now.
Do we always have this conversation?
Come on.
But it do always change, though.
Top 10 heavyweights. Sorry I put you on the spot like that, D Hodges.
No, I'm fine, but I don't know. I don't got no order. I could just name 10 people. I don't got no.
I was going to do the same.
Who's number 2? I don't know about all that, but I would say gotta put Ali up there. Gotta put Marcial. Gotta put Ali.
No, we're talking about the fighters of now.
Oh, of now? Oh, I thought you said all time.
No, right now, top 10, right now.
Top 10 right now might be a top 5. All the rest suck.
All right. Well, you gotta, you gotta make it happen. We did.
Yeah.
Damn, they suck though.
Yeah, okay, but it doesn't matter. You just gotta put some names together.
Ah, man, I don't. Hold on.
Jalik the leaders. Hey, Jalik the leader's in the chat, bro. He got his own channel.
Okay.
Respect to Jalik the leader, rap star.
Wilder, AJ, Fury, Dubois, Usyk. Oh man, damn! Now this is where it get hard. So
how did you just put Wilder ahead of Fury when he lost?
I told you. No, I told you there's no particular order. I told you.
Okay.
I don't put them in 1 and 2. I'm trying to think of 10 heavyweights. Now we can think of 5. The other 5 suck.
Put Lovejoy in there.
Fuck Lovejoy, the fucker.
Man. I just say Joe Joyce because I can't think of nobody else.
What about if I tell you about Ortiz?
I don't know who he is.
The one who had a fight with Wilder. He had a really good fight with Wilder twice.
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah,
he's there. Yep, he's there. That's number 6.
Joseph Parker.
I really don't
Joseph Parker, Dillian White, Povetkin.
I never put White. I hell no, he ain't getting on my list. I put Povetkin. That's 7. Love will be 8.
All right, we're getting there.
You gotta put Andy Ruiz. He'll be 9.
Oh my God, you forgot about him, didn't you?
Chris Arreola.
He's a bum, and I gotta think of one more person.
Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I'll give him. Yeah.
Wait. When we talk about Americans, bum talk is allowed?
No. No.
I can't name 10 American heavyweights. Shit, I'll be up here.
No, that was just a joke. That was a joke.
He was joking. Hey,
we ain't got
I don't care where you are from the world. That word ain't allowed here no more. Hey, let me tell you what, D Hodges. If I asked you, D Hodges, if I asked you for 5 good heavyweights from the past, would that be easy for you?
Oh, from the past, I can give you 10 easy.
Go on.
Because that's when I watched heavyweight boxing. That's when it's good. It's just now it's holding and holding and holding and holding. And back in the day, they swung. They didn't hardly held. Today is too much holding and hugging and pity-patting. And it's just like, heavyweight division went downhill. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. And shit, y'all Europeans got all the top heavyweights. They over there in Europe. We got one Wilder. What other American heavyweight is top?
You got Andy Ruiz.
Oh yeah, and him too. We got two.
You've also got Michael Hunter, Big Baby Miller. Few people to come through.
Miller's a fucking steroid freak.
Miller suck, cheater. I don't mention his name in my presence.
Okay, I just want to introduce someone, Diages. Give me a second. No problem. Jalik, the leader's in the house. What's up, Jalik?
Rap star, what's poppin', bro? I appreciate you having me on. Shout out to the panel, D. Hodges, Tommy Temper,
what's good, Jalik?
And Get the Smoke, aka Professor, aka the man with perfect SAT score. What's poppin'?
Hey, bro, I'm sharing this platform with all my bros from Europe. We got people from Australia, Malaysia, Italy. We got people from everywhere here, bro.
And shout out to the panel, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so listen, I don't want to put you on the spot, but now you came on the spot. Now you gotta give me top 10 heavyweights of right now.
Top 10 heavyweights. I say AJ number 1.
All right.
Fury number 2. Wilder number 3. Usyk number 4. Filip Hrgovic number 5. Croatian sensation. After the Croatian sensation, I would say that's where it started to get tough because you got like Oscar Reed. I say after Croatian sensation, I say I think Slow Joe beat Daniel Dubois, but I skill wise he might be a little bit better. So I say Daniel Dubois 6, Slow Joe number 7.
Dylan White, Povetkin.
Dylan White done, bro. He done. Povetkin, nah, he done. He about to retire. I don't count dumb.
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, I would say Andy Ruiz. I put him up there. Andy Ruiz, and I gotta catch his fights more, but I'm hearing the guy from the France. What's the French dude name? The black French dude, Tony Yoka.
Okay, yeah, I've been hearing about him.
Yoka, but that's my top 5 though. I got AJ, Fury, Wilder, Usyk, and Croatian sensation. Top 5 right now.
Yeah, man, that's for sure, man. I'm glad you cooked that up for us quick, bro, because I'm sick of the top 10 now. It's like, fucking, that's just all the things that's been going in my head. You know what I mean? But, yo, I just want to ask you, Jalik, are you excited about, because my European audience keeps sending me messages that how I feel about the Roy Jones and Tyson fight card coming up this Saturday, isn't it, in America?
It's next Saturday. It's the same day as Slow Joe versus Derek Chisora. I mean, Daniel Dubois. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. If you had to ask me what I'm more interested in, of course I'm more interested in Slow Joe versus Daniel Dubois. Yeah, I really look forward to that fight. I'm not missing that one. Now the Roy Jones, it's kind of interesting because it's like it's really interesting. They make it.
Are they wearing head guards?
You know what? That's a good question. I heard they increased the size of the gloves, but they make it. A lot of rappers is coming out. To be honest with you, that's how you got to promote fights now. You got to make it interesting to the outside the public. If this does more pay-per-views than this current people like Charlo's, boxing is in a bad state when you got guys in their 50s outselling guys in a prime right now. But it's gonna be interesting though.
So you got internet sensation Jake Paul fighting an American
football player. Nate Robinson. He's played football, but he also he's more of a basketball player.
Bro, this shit sounds like a bit like a freak show, that fight.
Nah, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Them YouTube fights be live, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because what's his name? Paul, what's the dude from UK? KSI?
KSI.
That fight was good, bro. In the build-up, they in the build-up, fighters gotta learn how to build themselves up. Like they don't have no personalities. They just happy with the money. They don't try hard. But the YouTubers know how to promote themselves. They be talking. That's how you build up fights, man. They don't know how to do that. You can't hate on the YouTubers, bro.
How come they're fighting ahead of Badu Jack? Badu Jack's fighting on the same card.
Yeah, and I think he's giving his money. Shout out to Badu Jack. I think he's giving his money to charity. So that's a honorable move right there. Yeah.
So the money for this fight is going to charity?
No, for Badu Jack's purse. I think just Badu Jack. I think he's giving his purse to charity. Badu Jack. Everybody else, I'm not sure. I just read that Badu Jack was doing it because he do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I feel bad though. I don't want to see Tyson or Roy Jones get hurt in that fight.
So y'all talking about the real Nate Robinson, the dude that used to, the short dude that won the dunk contest?
Yeah, 5'9" Duncan.
Yeah, that dude. Oh, he's a 3-time dunk champion. That dude's a problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. That's gonna be. I'm telling you, bro. Don't.
Yeah, no. I when I heard about it, I didn't think it was him. I'm like, they can't be talking about
Robinson, bro.
I didn't think they was talking about the basketball player when I first heard it. I thought it might be, you know, how sometime there could be another Nate Robinson.
Yeah. That's. I ain't going front.
What do he know about boxing?
Nate Robinson, because I ain't going front though. Jake Paul, he's solid though. That KSI fight, I don't know if y'all seen it. It was good.
Wait. Is he fighting Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Logan Paul, KSI.
All right, so Logan Paul.
Jake Paul be knocking everybody out though.
Okay, so everything you mentioned was about the build-up and nothing about the fight. If you start talking about the fight and call that good, then then we got issues.
Did you see the fight between Logan Paul and KSI?
I saw the highlights.
Oh, bro, the fight was.
Did you see him punch himself in the face?
What, Tyson Fury style?
Nah,
yeah,
bro, that fight was good.
Yeah, harder though. But harder.
No, that fight was good, bro. I forget. I think it was last November on the Zone because I think that's the one Devin Haney fought that dude Santiago, and Billy Joe was getting beat up by that guy that worked for Facebook or something. That guy that's like not even real boxing. He was losing to.
Right. So, don't say that on this channel. Apparently, Billy Joe's the truth at 168.
Oh, for real?
Only when he's on a nasal spray.
I know, right?
Oh, he is. Yous are gonna be. But let me tell you something. When that guy gets fit, yous will see. I'm telling you right now. Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah, yous will see. It is what it is.
Hey,
but does he have the heart to train? That's my question.
Yeah,
so, Jalik, I wanted to ask you, are you covering fights in America on your channel?
I used to a lot, but I haven't been doing it now. But because I got my dog, but she's getting to the if you ever had a dog, you know how it is. You got to be taking them out a lot. But she's like she ring the doorbell now when she got to go, so she almost got that one. So I'll be able to do a little bit more when I'm at my crib because and then I crate trainer so. But once I get that, I'll be able to do it. But guys, I like to cover fights, man. It's fun, bro. And plus, the reason why I like to cover it because the announcers, I don't know if it's like that in the UK, but the announcers here, man, I don't like the way they be talking. They be making it seem like one guy really losing, but they not. I just don't like the way they be doing.
I actually think the Brits are the worst at
they like that too? Oh, okay, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, especially at athletics, they're the worst.
I can't stand that, bro. They just be like totally manipulating the people. I don't like that. So
yeah, so it's Fortuna fighting this Saturday.
Javier Fortuna?
Yeah.
Oh, it is? That's what I was wondering. I figured it was a good fight. Let me see.
It's Antonio Lapazada. He's all right. He's 40-something and 5. I think he's like 46 and 5 with 1 draw. He's all right.
Javier Fortuna act like he ain't want that smoke with Devin Haney because people was like Devin Haney was ducking, but then as soon as he, was known that his shoulder was good, the homeboy was nowhere to be found, but he wanted to fight Jorge Linares, which that was a good fight too. I was trying to see that fight.
Gary Russell was talking about if he didn't fight Devin Haney, he was going to fight Fortuna.
Exactly. Gary Russell.
I would have liked that. I would have loved to see that fight. Fortuna and Gary Russell Jr. That's fire.
Yep. And I will give us a chance. See, Mel Lopez. I don't know these. Conor Ben fighting the. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to tell you, Jalik. While you watch everything else, don't forget to watch Conor Ben, Sebastian. What's his surname again?
Formella, the guy
from
distance, yeah.
Yeah, he took Sean Porter to the distance. He's only lost 1 fight. So let's make sure you try and tune into that. We've got that, there's a guy 5-0. His name's Alan Babic. He's knocking people out at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that.
He's the undercard. I mean, he's fighting a journeyman, Tom Little. Then we've got then we go to America after that, don't we? You know what I mean? No, we go
next week.
No, we go
next
to
Friday.
Daniel Jabbar, Joe Joyce.
That's the fight right there, bro. That's going to really shake up the heavyweights, and they'd be double mandatory at WBO. That's gonna be really interesting because everybody got Daniel Dubois winning, and I like him skill wise. He's smooth with his punches, but I got a feeling that if homeboy Slow Joe can take his shots, bro, and something tells me that his stamina might not be. Man, I hope I'm wrong because I like Daniel Dubois, but
man, you Americans have got it going on because then after that, you've got Danny Garcia, Errol Spence in Texas.
Yeah, that's a fucking fight. That is a fight. That one.
That's the best one I'm looking forward to, and that's in Texas, and all the fans are going there, Jalik.
Yeah, it's in Texas, and but you forgot your boy Billy Joe.
Oh yeah, Billy Joe's got a fight.
Billy Joe versus Martin Murray on the 4th.
Yep. We got that fight, and we got after that we got Anthony Joshua versus Pullum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now we got Canelo versus Callum Smith.
Yeah, so it's some solid fights to end out the year. Joseph Parker, I'm looking at the schedule. Joseph.
So let me piggyback off the conversation. We can bring it back and promote a fight out of the UK at the same time. This AJ Pulev fight. You guys got on your top 10 heavyweights. I heard a couple of prospects on there, what I would consider prospects or at the prospect level. You guys have Daniel Dubois beating Pulev, or Hergovic beating Pulev, or Joe Joyce beating Pulev?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Well,
then what happened to Huey Fury then? What's the problem with Huey?
We just don't think he's good. I mean, we just think the other guys is better. I mean, hey, that's important to me.
I mean, Huey. All right, so then I thought Huey did as well as Ruiz did against Parker.
I mean, hey, I don't know. Does he have boar meat too, or Fury too?
yeah. He was part of that. He was definitely part of that.
Hey, Huey Fury hasn't got the X factor. There's something missing in Huey Fury. He ain't got the X factor.
Yo, I like
he's in power.
Joyce, yo,
he's missing something, bro.
He's a heavyweight Broner. He doesn't throw punches.
Yeah.
And then he throws a punch and then he runs.
But he's got a good work rate.
Problem with him. Problem with Huey Fury is he never trains with Tyson Fury. That's what I reckon it is. He never trains with him. Same as his uncle.
Because they had a little fallout, bro. I think.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Because when Tyson decided to move on to what's that guy's name? The young trainer.
Sugar Hill.
Kronk.
No. Before that. Ben Davison.
Yeah.
Ben Davison.
Yeah. Ben Davison. That was the time that Tyson was saying that he wasn't feeling lifted up with his own family and Peter Fury anymore. He said he felt a bit too dull over there.
Good move. Turned out to be a good move.
He said he couldn't push himself no more with them. And he
felt environment.
He felt like he needed a new break, so that he needed to find a new atmosphere. But I do think that Huey Fury, some people put Derek Chisora in there. I do think Huey Fury, man, if we're going to put Derek in there, I don't know. Huey Fury still hasn't done nothing. And Derek Chisora done a good performance against Usyk.
Yeah,
they seem to be putting in. The problem is they seem to be putting Derek Chisora in with these fucking brilliant fighters. They're not giving him any of these Tom Littles to get some confidence up.
Oh, they're paying him well. They're paying him well for it.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. He's at the tail end of his career. He only has that, a handful of meaningful fights.
Whatever you call it. Yeah, he's the step-up guy that they use to gauge.
Gatekeeper. Derek Chisora is a gatekeeper right now.
Gatekeeper, just like Danny Garcia is at welterweight, the gatekeeper.
No, but Danny Garcia is the gatekeeper for the elites, right?
Yeah,
because
I'd agree with that.
Like the difference between Danny Garcia is he's only lost to Thurman and Porter, and both of those fights you can actually give him. You could maybe make an argument that he won, right? Porter more than Thurman, but you can make an argument both ways. You can also make an argument that he lost to Herrera.
But then I can make an argument,
right? Robert Guerrero too.
I can make this argument that if you beat Joseph Parker, then you can be in the elite of heavyweights.
Yeah, but Joseph Parker is still a contender.
He's
not
really
really
good
a
gateway
gatekeeper
as well.
yet.
He's a good gateway.
But he's still a contender.
Yeah, I see what you mean, Rapstar. Yeah, because Joseph Parker, bro, I don't know what's up with that guy.
Yeah,
so, I know what's up with him. He got robbed against White. That's what's up with him. He got straight robbed.
Now, how did he get robbed?
because he got a headbutt called as a knock. First off, he got a headbutt called as a knockdown. Secondly, White was allowed to foul throughout that entire fight, including up until the 12th round, where he was able to hold on for like the last 30 seconds without any kind of anything
Yeah,
happening.
that's UK home
Hey,
cooking
yo,
for
we
you.
been talking about Dylan White, but you got something personal. Did you try to DM him on Instagram and he turned you down, bro?
Okay, so apparently you can't argue with my boxing analysis. So now you got to make jokes about my DM. What I'm saying to you is that Joseph Parker is a contender. Joseph Parker is a contender. That's all I'm saying. Joseph Parker is a contender, not a gatekeeper.
He's also an ex-champion.
Dylan White beat him, bro. You making like, come on.
Yeah,
no, I'm not making like. If you look at the judges' scorecards and you look at that round, right? That would have been a Joseph Parker round and a 10-8 round. Look at the judges' scorecards and then come back to me. Then get back at me because that would have been a swing. Because that round, sorry, it wouldn't have been a 10-8 round. That was called a 10-8 round for White, and he would have lost.
But a lot of people said that Dylan White won about the first 5 rounds out of the 6 rounds.
No, I'm talking about
early on in the fight, Dylan White was way more dominant, and he got a 10-8 round. So he already won five rounds then. So he only needed to win one more round at the end, bro.
No, that's not the way boxing scoring works, mate.
Yeah, rap star. If you look at the judges' scorecards, right? If you just take a look, forget what people were saying. If you take a look at the judges' scorecards, you will see that Joseph Parker, that round that he got knocked down in, right? He got 2 knockdowns were scored against him. The first knockdown was actually a headbutt, and it was a headbutt in a round that Joseph Parker was winning. So instead of winning the round, it became he lost the round by 2 points. That's a 3-point swing. If you add that to the actual judges' scorecard, you will see that Joseph Parker would have won that fight.
So are you saying that the 2 knockdowns they gave him 10-8s on 2 rounds, right?
Yes, they gave him 10-8 on 2 rounds. They should have only given one of those rounds. It should have been a win for Joseph Parker. That round, instead of being 10-8 for White, it should have been 10-9 for Parker.
What was the scorecards? What was the scorecards at the end?
Yeah, I don't remember the scorecards.
Yeah, and I don't even remember this headbutt.
I don't remember, but
I think there was 2 points in it.
Either. Yeah, that's my first time hearing that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the fight before I fact check anyone. So I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, what you'll see is the first knockdown that was scored for him. The second one was a clean left hook. Beautiful left hook.
Yeah, I remember the beautiful left hook.
The first one was a headbutt that was called a knockdown in a round that he was losing.
But Dylan White looked dominant in that fight as well, even in that fight.
Then rewind to the 12th round. Remember, you said the word dominant, and then watch the 12th round.
I watched that fight. I watched that.
I'm sorry, Professor. I got a question for you. Name 3 to 5 things that Dylan White does good.
He promotes the fight well.
What he does good? 3 to 5 things. So 5 things tops. All right, so 5.
Yeah.
So one of the things he does, the best thing that he does is promote himself and the fight. As a promoter, he's top notch. Right, that is what he does the best.
I agree.
Right? As a boxer, left hook.
Okay.
Right. Other than that, he can brawl.
He's also
well. His roughhouse. His roughhouse tactics, his game, like his dirty boxing, we'll call it. His dirty boxing is real good.
He's also very good at taking it outside the ring.
Julie don't want me to get, so I'll just stop at 3. I'll let Kangaroo hop in because that's 3, right? I can give you 2 more. I can give you 3 more, but you want me to stop at 2. But it's not like Dylan White can't do anything in the boxing game, right? That's not the issue. The issue is he has not actually proven that he's better than Rivas or Parker, but everybody's acting like he is.
So if you beat a guy, okay, so you don't think he won, okay.
But I mean, both the guys that you just said, he did beat them.
No, he got the W over them, and they're both controversial W's. Like I said,
even if you look at it on paper,
I was very specific in my word choice. He has not proven that he's better than him. He got the result against.
I agree. I actually agree with you on that. I 100% agree with you because the Joseph Parker fight, I was at a pub watching that fight, and I specifically remember it. And I actually thought it could have been a draw or Joseph Parker could have got the win because there was a few 50-50 rounds. But Joseph Parker and Dillian White, they're very similar fighters, but because Dillian White's with Eddie Hearn, when he fights people in the UK that are from overseas, he gets those W's with the judges' decisions, and they're 2 great points of it. He's with Eddie Hearn and Matthew in boxing, and you're with them, you're going to get the judges' decisions, you know, so...
You're going to get the hometown cooking as well.
So in other words, what you're saying is you got to take it off the person.
You got to knock him out.
I'm saying that if you're going to talk about how the greatness of Dillian White, then you also have to bring up the fact that we got failed drug tests, weird glove controversies, weird knockdowns that are weird headbutts that are called knockdowns, and that's what. And these are his 2 signature wins.
Yeah, but then you can say the same thing about all these fighters in America, like Sugar Shane Mosley. He has big conspiracies, but he's a Hall of Famer. Evander Holyfield, James Toney, all these people took drugs. And
yes, we do say that about them.
There's evidence for it as well.
And we do say that about them. We also say Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I'm just saying, keep it real, bro.
We say we keep it real all the way. Floyd Mayweather and his saline solutions. We talk about it, baby. We don't sweep it under the rug. And not only that, when we're talking about Floyd Mayweather's cheating, we don't bring up Dillian White. So let's not bring up Floyd Mayweather when we're talking about Dillian White.
But I just, Tommy Temper, I got a question for you, the UK people. How did y'all have Canelo versus Laura in his 2 fights with Triple G? Did y'all have him winning?
The first fight was controversial, bro.
Yeah, the first fight I actually thought Triple G had that.
Okay.
And then the second one, I'll be honest, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because it was a close fight. I can't remember how I scored the second fight.
I had the first fight Canelo winning, but I could see how it was a draw because I know that people don't really appreciate defense like the way that I do, right? And then I thought the second fight was a draw.
So what about the Laura fight? How did y'all have that one?
I actually had Lara winning that fight,
right?
Because I thought he had boxed him. The activity was there. He was just
and that's why I don't get boxing, right? Because Laura, I felt like showed great defense, but I could see how it could have been a draw, but I felt like he got robbed because he lost, right? I don't think like he threw enough punches to win the fight, but I did think he did enough. I thought he did enough to at least get a draw.
Laura's he doesn't have great ring generalship and he doesn't understand momentum and he fight like he the A side in Cuba. That's why, because he has to he doesn't know how to separate himself like a Crawford. Crawford is separate the rounds. Floyd is separate rounds. Him, he make it close because first of all, he moves excessively when he don't have to, and he gives the other person momentum. You can't do that when you're B side, but I mean, he's solid, but
well, I mean, Tyson Fury was able to do that and get he got a draw after getting dropped twice, right? It's not like he came in and was like doing some sort of progression. But what I'll say, if I could just finish. I think one of the reasons why I would give one of the things I think Lara did well, better than Canelo, was ring generalship.
I think this is ludicrous. I honestly think some of these comments that we're making are ludicrous. To say it's not, I think it's more the sweet science of boxing. Like everyone's trying to get on top of everyone and say, oh yeah, he didn't win the fight because he wasn't dominant or he didn't make himself present. But little did you know that he was pumping that cunt with a jab for 12 rounds and he was putting it on him. You know, it's like...
That's the point. To me, that's the point. I feel like if he was pumping and it comes down to scoring a fight, right? What is more valuable, pumping a jab or a hook to the body? Pumping a jab to the head or a hook to the body?
You also got to know the circumstances of what you fighting in. Like if I'm coming to the UK, right? I'm from America. I know that everything's gonna be against me. So if I fight in a way where I keep the rounds close, then that's my fault. If I don't dominate the guy or knock the guy out, then it's my fault. That's just the way it goes. So it's Laura's ability to dominate. You see Floyd dominate him, and then one of the guys judges had it as a draw. So you know what you're going against when you're fighting this guy. But I picked Laura to win, but I knew he wouldn't get a decision because I just know how he fights. And that's just the way he fights. And first of all, he doesn't have an inside game. He's a solid fighter. He doesn't have an inside game, and for some reason he over moves when part of ring generalship is about knowing how to position yourself and forcing the other guy back and not giving them momentum and keep things on your favor. It's a lot of it is psychological when you're ring generalship. So, but
so ring generalship is who's fighting, right? So that is you're using the ring in order to make the fight become your fight, and that was a Lara fight through and through. That was not a
Canelo but you have to appreciate this, right?
So you have to make it clean. He doesn't do that.
Yeah, and you need to listen to this. Smoke. You need to listen to this right now.
Clean, bro.
Yeah, a lot of fighters, when they use aggression, especially old school judges, I don't know about in Australia, a lot of judges, they look for aggression. When a fighter comes forward, and for some reason, when that fighter goes forward for 12 rounds, even if some rounds he's outboxed and he's getting some of his jabs in or getting some of his work in, as long as he's consistently aggressive and going forward, he gets some points for winning that fight. That's just the way it goes.
Especially the women
but
judges.
You got to appreciate that's how the old school boxing is.
But he shouldn't. That is one of the criteria, right? One of the criteria.
No. One of the criteria is effective aggression, not aggression. Effective.
Effective.
It has to be effective.
It's effective aggression, but that's a different thing than ring generalship, right? So now we're talking about two different things. And what I'm saying is, yes, effective aggression is one of the criteria, and some may even put that above ring generalship. And I'm like, the way the judging is supposed to work, that it's 4 criteria that is supposed to equal 25%, right? It's supposed to be clean, hard punching, effective aggression, ring generalship, defense, right? And they're all supposed to account for 25%. But it sounds like to a bunch of people that it's mostly about clean, effective punching, and that's like 70% of it. And then you can figure out the rest of it for yourself.
But that's just street fighting, though, isn't it?
Let's say there's not clean, effective. Let's say there's not clean, hard punching. They go right to effective aggression, as if that's the next best criteria. But they leave ring generalship and defense to either the last of their criteria and worth the least. And that's just about the way judges are, right? Personal preferences of the judges. And then when in America, and we're not talking about anywhere else, right? In American Championship boxing specifically, like you have the judges that are on 3 different sides of the ring. So those guys don't even have the same vantage point. And none of them have this vantage point of the viewing audience, which is the TV cameras. And that's where everybody, like most of the people who are watching the fight, have that vantage point. But they don't have the vantage point to the judges. And each of the judges don't even have the same vantage point. So when we're taking into account about like how you score a fight and all this stuff, I think all of that needs to be said.
I agree, but you also got to understand is a lot of it is based on money. I mean, the biggest sport in the world, soccer, is very corrupt. So boxing, which is easier to corrupt than sport, there that it's corrupt. So that's how it goes. So knowing your positioning is very, very important, and where you stand, you can't leave it up to the judges. You gotta go for broke and switch things up like there. But I mean, Laura,
100%. The odds are in the house fighter's favor.
Exactly.
I mean, but look, some world champions have stopped going around the world because of these reasons. Because when you was a world champion, you would go around the world and defend your title. But now it doesn't really work like that as much.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you know that what you have, like, let's say you're a boxer, right? If you're a slick kind of boxer, you may want to have the hometown advantage, which I think is why Tyson Fury spent a bunch of time fighting here, right? So he can curry favor in Las Vegas, right? And make sure that when the big fights happen, he's already greased the palms he needs to grease in that town.
No, I can't agree with that. I mean, that is... How can you make a comment like that, brother? Because Fury dominates the ring, man. Like, you can clearly see when he's winning a fight. Doesn't matter whether he's here, Australia, Japan. If he's outboxing somebody, he's clearly outboxing somebody.
Bro, everybody said he was clearly outboxing Wilder and didn't get the nod. And then he stayed in Vegas, and guess where he rematched Wilder?
He outboxed Wilder in that first fight. It's just a 2 knockdowns.
But he didn't get the nod. What you're saying is, but you're just proving my point. What I'm saying is the guy stayed in Las Vegas in order to curry favor, because he was saying that I should have got the nod. So he stayed there, greased the appropriate palms, even though his fights sold crappily there. He still paid the commissions. He still paid the judges, because the judges in America work for the athletic commission. There's those, and they're the judges in those states, right? So Vegas has the same judges, New York has the same judges, California has the same judges. It works like that here. So what he did was stay in a town so he could ingratiate himself with that local structure.
You don't make no sense, bro.
Okay, here's what I'm telling you. This is what I'm saying to you. Listen to what Tyson Fury said. He said, I got hosed by the judges. I need somebody like a Bob Arum that knows the system, and I'm going to go and fight in this place so that I don't get robbed again in the rematch.
Exactly. And what he did, he knocked him out because he understood his position in. That's what we're talking about. You got to know your position. He said, I'm not leaving it up to the judges, and he aggressively went towards Wilder. That's the difference. That's a smart. That's the difference between winning.
That's exactly what he did.
The whole point I was trying to bring up. You got to do that. You can't be going in there playing around if it stacks against you. That's why you got to. That's why guys
that's why he changed his whole structure.
I would say that is. I would definitely say that is part of it, right? And you can extrapolate that. But if you're watching the fight, what actually happened was Wilder hit him with a couple of those right hands, and then he said, "Forget this boxing stuff. I'm gonna step to you and see what happens."
Nah, he was saying
he was
going to do that, bro. He said he's going to go take it.
I know he said he's going to do it. I know he said he's going to do it.
But you know where listen, let me tell you where he felt that good. When he knew that Wilder gave him his best and he got back up on the 12th round, he's the one who realized that he was pushing Wilder back and he hurt Wilder. And when he was going in the fight and going forward, he realized he could hurt him. But then he went with the Kronk's gym and they just changed his game plan. They said, look, bro, you can outbox this guy. You can be aggressive. You can stop him. And he told everybody. He said, this is what I'm going to do to the guy. And nobody believed him. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah. Am I right, though? Nobody fucking believed him.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right.
When he went with that game plan and the Sugar Hill game plan, it worked. It fucking worked perfectly towards his advantage because of his height, his reach, and that would just work towards his advantage. And
it wasn't just his height and reach and work to his advantage. If you listen to the game plan the instruction that Sugar Hill gave him throughout the fight, it wasn't just about his strategy going into the fight. It was also the adjustments he made during the fight. And I will go and that what you're saying illustrates my point perfectly. He didn't even know, he wasn't even with Sugar Hill when he was doing this whole Vegas move, when he made the Bob Arum switch, when he was talking about how he got robbed off the judges' scorecards. That was a completely different thing. He brought in Sugar Hill after all that.
Right. Okay.
Bottom line is you got to know your position and you got to dominate the fights and the rounds. Don't make it close. And a lot of times you got to get knockouts. If not, you're going to be in controversial decision. Another guy that's like that is Ugas. He's going to be in the same situation. You can just tell how a guy fight. What's going to happen to him?
Hey, which fighters do we remember, apart from Tyson Fury, going to somebody's backyard and basically, taking it off of them?
Spence did it to Brooke, and then Brooke did it to Porter.
Is that how long it's been? It's just been those two.
No,
he's done it twice. Fury's done it twice, though. He's done it to Klitschko and Wilder. Klitschko. I'm talking about Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah,
and
you can't get a decision over there, bro.
Yeah,
unless you totally outbox that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You ain't getting a decision there unless you totally outbox this motherfucker.
Yeah, but now you got to go even farther back than Spence and Brooke and Porter, right?
Who?
Yeah, whatchamacallit did it. Usyk done it to Tony Bellew. And he just
true.
Yep. And he just done it with Chisora. So
look how rare it happens.
Yeah. That's why I give extra credit in a sense to fighters that do that. You like, man, this dude is going to people's hometown. It's somebody else that did. I can't remember right now, but it's somebody else that be doing it. It's kind of different.
I mean, you could call Canelo Danny Jacobs, right? I mean, Canelo fights in the U.S., but that fight took place in New York.
Yeah,
but he's not,
but he always fights in the U.S., bro.
Yeah, exactly. So does Triple G when beating Curtis Stevenson in New York, right?
I mean, Triple G's come to, but mind you, he's been fighting in US and England as well, right? So, I mean,
yeah, it's interesting, man. We'll see though. We'll see what's happening. It's a lot of great, fights coming up. And
who would you guys? Sorry, who would you guys like to see Fury fight next?
AJ or Water to get that
exactly. That's all I want. That's all I'm interested in is AJ and Wilder.
I'm not watching him fight the tune-up. He the tune-up cat. He like the tune-up king. Like I don't. It's like he get the fight. I'm not watching that. I'm not. I never even watched the Auto Wale. I'm not watching that. That's like preseason. It's like watching a preseason soccer match. I'm not doing that. I'm not staying in that.
I could say Lomachenko too, because he's not from here and he beat a bunch of Americans. So
yeah, but
yeah,
he fights here though.
Huh?
He fights out of here. He's saying beat him in their hometown as if he fights somewhere else and then goes to their hometown. Lomachenko fights out of LA.
No, but he's not from here. He's from whatever country he's from.
Yeah, but I think that's a different question though, right? It's a different question than if you move here and you fight out of here and you beat a bunch of people here, because that's true for Triple G. That's true for all the Cubans.
Lomachenko
right?
still live in his country. Lomachenko don't live over here.
What about Ringo though? What about Ringo though? What's his name?
Sorry.
Ringo?
Tommy Temper.
Yeah.
But that is a different thing than you fight in your own home country and then you travel for a fight to beat the champion somewhere else, right? It's just a different metric. But to mention, but I'm glad you brought that up because Rigo did go to Japan and whip that boy.
Yeah, Rigo did, right? So, I mean, it just takes a really courageous fighter who's willing to put it all on the line in another country.
Yeah, that takes a lot of That takes a lot, man. That's like whatchamacallit did it with Ricky Burns. That was a couple years ago in his first belt. Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford I'm going to make a statement here. I'm going to make a statement.
Yeah, do you think?
Ahead.
And
Costa Zoo fought in America a bunch.
But go ahead, bro. I want to hear it.
The statement I'm making is this, and I predicted it back in 2016. And yeah, maybe I might be a fanboy, but I just live in reality because I love the science of the sport. I box myself, so won a few state titles here and there. Tyson Fury will retire undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I can't see anyone beating him in this area. Maybe when he's 36, 37, he'll fight maybe an up-and-coming heavyweight and might lose. But no one in this area is beating him. I just can't see it, and he proves everyone wrong every fucking time. You say something every time.
I mean, since he has a draw that didn't actually prove everybody wrong. If people thought he was going to win that fight, but I did think that Tyson Fury had the best chance of winning with his skills, with his boxing and all that stuff. Like I think he had the best shot at being the guy coming out of this generation as the number one. But I still would like to see him do it, right? I think that I thought that AJ right, like it's one thing to project it, right? But it's another thing to watch it happen. I would still love to see I would love to see the trilogy and put that to bed. And then I would like to see them fight at least 2 times, and if there's a draw in there, 8 with AJ 3 times also.
And believe it or not, you can't count Usyk out versus Fury because just think about it. If Fury coming all heavy like he did Wilder, you can't necessarily do that against Usyk because Usyk's stamina is different, and the way he move around the ring isn't as stationary as Wilder. So his game plan gonna have to be different because he does like to use his weight. So you can't count Usyk out, especially if Usyk body. So that's actually a good style matchup. Usyk got a chance.
No way. I mean, I'll tell you.
All right, bro.
I think Usyk's hardest match
good fight.
You'll see.
Good fight. Yeah. Good.
We don't have to count him out.
Don't get me wrong.
We'll do it.
So good fight. Don't get me wrong. But let me tell you, good fight.
Vitaly Klitschko, Usyk can beat Tyson Fury.
Yes, Chris Bird does not try to win a fight from the outside. Chris Bird has way better. He has way better upper body movement. I know you keep saying fact over me, but Chris Bird was getting his head handed to him against Vitaly Klitschko. Did not win against Vlad. Vitaly Klitschko was injured in that fight, but Chris Bird is a better inside fighter than Usyk, and has a better upper body movement, so he could actually get out of the way punching. And the Klitschko's, their own trainer will tell you that those guys can't punch going down. Tyson Fury does not have that issue.
Oh God! The funny thing is, this is the thing. I would agree with you. I would agree with you if Fury wasn't able to move around. But let me tell you, if Usyk gets in a ring with Fury, you will see. Depending on how Fury wants to do it, whether he wants to outbox Usyk, because I reckon he'll probably jab him all night, 12 rounds for sure, and win unanimously by the judges' scorecards. Or if he wants to, he'll do a Steve Cunningham and lean on him and just smash the fuck out of him.
Let me make a statement on that.
You can't.
I want to make a statement on that myself.
Level, bro. And
I just want to make a statement on that myself.
Didn't Steve Cunningham drop him? So you can't.
He dropped him.
He did drop.
He dropped him. He did drop him, but when Fury got,
bro.
Fury said with that Mayweather stuff, dude been dropped 4 times in his career.
I just believe that. I got my own views on that. I believe Tyson Fury is the only man who stops. Let me tell you what I believe. I believe Tyson Fury is the only man who stops Usyk. I believe he stops Usyk, bro.
Break that down, Rapstar. Break that down.
And the reason why I see him stops Usyk, is because I know now Tyson Fury is a different fighter to what he was. And the whole reason of Tyson Fury knows he don't need to play around with an Usyk.
I'm waiting for you to
I've
finish.
seen the performance of Derek Chisora. I've seen what Tyson Fury did to Derek Chisora. He destroyed that kid. You know what I mean? So this is a fighter that you're telling me he can adapt to most styles. Tyson Fury's underrated, bro. He'll know how to deal with Usyk. He'll make it easy for himself.
Rapstar, you got to put my man on mute. D guy.
Hey, Diagez, what's up, bro? Are you trying?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. I just really think I think Fury's gonna outbox Usyk. I'm sorry.
For sure.
I'm just saying it's like, and I don't even like Fury at all, but it's just I think he's too big and too tall for Usyk. Plus Usyk don't plus like I said, Usyk don't got enough oof on him. Because if you can't keep Chisora and Tim Witherspoon, if you can't keep them away, what makes you think you could hit and hurt Fury? That's just my opinion. Because he took Wilder's punches, so I know Usyk do not hit like a Wilder. So but I don't think in my opinion, Usyk don't got enough power for Fury.
So you think Steve Cunningham is a bigger puncher than Usyk?
That was Tyson Fury coming up, though, isn't it? When he was young. This is a different Tyson Fury, bro. I mean, this is a different Tyson Fury.
I'm pretty sure he punches harder. Usyk don't punch hard,
bro. Usyk way more Steve Cunningham.
No. Hold up. Bigger punch. Hold up. You cannot. We will not slander. We will not slander Tim Witherspoon's name. That was Chaz Witherspoon. Chaz.
Yeah, that's what I said. I know who it was. Oh yeah, and he had a problem with him. He had no power to keep him away. He had no power to keep Chisora away. In the heavyweight division, if you don't got enough power to keep Fury off you, he's just gonna tear you up all night because he ain't gonna be scared of your punch. Real talk. That's why he was real careful. That's why he was real careful with Wilder. Because he didn't want to catch that punch. But Fury know Usyk can't hit hard. Watch. Fury's just going to walk him down and just maul him.
All right.
And that's just my opinion. I don't think Usyk punches hard enough. You got to punch hard to keep Fury away. You got to make Fury be like, shit.
All right.
Damn.
Hey, guys, let me go back to it. Let me go back to a late great Emmanuel Stewart, I'm pretty sure his name is. He said he made a comment. He said before he died, he said to beat Tyson Fury, you've got to knock the motherfucker out and keep him down because otherwise you don't beat him. He will either beat you for 12 rounds or he'll lean on you and brutally damage your legs like he did to Wilder.
He's good at using his height and weight though. I gotta give him that though. He could move. No matter how much I don't like him, I still gotta give him the
heavyweight in the history at 6'9" can move like the way that he moves.
For real.
There's no other heavyweight that can move like him the way as big as him. It doesn't happen.
I don't like him at all though, but I can't take away from his talent.
That's his best attributes.
Have you ever seen a heavyweight switch between southpaw and orthodox in between combinations?
No.
Yeah, that's good.
I have nothing wrong with. I just don't like him. But I can't say that has nothing to do with his skill set. He got awesome skills. Can't take that from him. No matter what I think about him as a person, kissing people in the mouth and and licking blood and all that weird shit. You know what I'm saying? But I can't take away. I can't take away from. I'm not gonna let it take away from his boxing. I just don't like him, but he got skills. I'll give it. The boy got skills.
Man, at least you're keeping it real, Diages.
I think
kissing a man in the mouth. You don't do that on national TV. You walk up and kiss a man in the mouth. I mean, I know what he meant it like, but it didn't sit right with me, man. Kissing a man in the mouth, man. And he gave him a lip to lip kiss.
What are you talking about? Who did it?
What'd you say?
Nah, who kissed who in the mouth? I missed that part.
I know. I said I forgot the name of the fighter, but they was in the middle of the face off or in the ring.
That's
what was the fighter he did it to, y'all? Y'all know British fighters more than me.
It was that okay? Let me tell you, it was separate Safiri, and it wasn't national TV. It was international broadcast. Everybody.
It don't matter. He kissed the man in the mouth on TV. I seen it.
Yeah. I just want to put it in a proper context. That was the guy.
It don't matter if it's international.
Okay.
We seen it. We seen it in America, dude. So
I'm hearing you. Listen to me. Check this out. If you remember the American broadcast, that was YouTube undercard fights, right? They had Lee Selby, Josh Warrington, and then they had Tyson Fury. They had Tyson Fury, Sefer Safiri on YouTube, and then they switched to Gary Russell Jr. versus Jojo Diaz, and I want to say it was Badu Jack and Adley and Stevenson.
Right. Yeah.
I said, what was I going to say? Fucking, and even people like fighters like Vander Holyfield.
What am I getting?
You got Lennox Lewis. They got coming out. They're saying, you know, to beat Fury, you're going to have to really bring it. You're going to have to really bring it.
You got to bring it. You do.
You
got to bring it.
And if you're off one little bit, even if you're on, he might still dominate you. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, Kangaroo, we saw when he got injured and his eye, one of his eyes was totally blurry vision. We saw him change and adapt his style in order to win that fight, what he had to do with his eye, which was fucked. Like, a lot of people would have stopped that fight a long time ago.
I guess he didn't stop that because of Bob Arum, which helps that situation as well. They're not going to, you know. Did you see that fucking Aussie guy that got ripped in that card in the US with their head? Apparently it was a headbutt, but it wasn't a headbutt.
Andrew Maloney.
I forgot his name. That was one of the worst decisions I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Because the fist connected before the head did. I swear to God, I watched that in slow motion so many times.
3 times, Diages. That boy Andrew Maloney jabbed his eye. He kept jabbing his eye.
Yes. That was a cheap move. I watched it. I put it in real slow motion, frame by frame. The glove punch first before the head hit.
What do you think about that, Jalik?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The thing which happened with the Australian Andrew Maloney and Robert Garcia's fight.
While I was watching it, I said they probably online with the Vegas odds to see how much they would have to pay or not, because that was so obvious, bro. I mean, I didn't see no headbutt. The crazy thing about it is Robert Garcia left Twitter. He was mad at Oscar because Franco, his fighter, nobody from Golden Boy came. I think not to switch the subject. I think Oscar De La Hoya is probably going to be like that guy from but then 18 months he might be out of boxing as a promoter. It's like everything is stumbling. But yeah, they jerk. I hate that. Even the guy, if I want him to win or whatever, I hate when somebody get cheated. Like I don't like that. That Maloney.
Just a comment in the chats. Someone said in the chat, Fury will treat Usyk like a cruiserweight, and that's 100% right.
Does that mean he's gonna hold him and hit him? Like, here's the thing. Here's what I think. Like, the whole deal is, Fury has a real professional style, right? So he will use whatever he can get away with in order to beat a guy, and he has a lot of tools in his quiver. He has a lot of tools in his box to beat an Usyk, who is a smaller guy trying to win from the outside with his legs.
You know when Fury fights, right, and when he's fighting blokes that like bouncing around the ring, those long arms, some of the punches that he throws when the guy's moving around, so say you're standing there, standing there, and you fucking move to the left, which Usyk will be doing a lot. He likes to maneuver around, bounce around a little bit. Fury just throws a random right hand to the body to stop him from moving, and then he cuts the ring off. He does that very well, Fury. He knows how to box people in, and not only that as well, he can fight on the inside. I can officially say Fury can fight on the inside. He will bust you up if you get close with him, because he will lean on you. He'll lift his elbows. He'll put his head in onto your shoulder. He'll put you up against the ropes. He will just maul you if you let him get hold of you. And everyone thought that Fury couldn't do that, but yes, he can.
No, it wasn't the issue that nobody thought he could do it. We've seen him do it before. Like, the fact that he's a mauler, like, the dude is dirty as hell. Like, that's not the issue. The issue is, can he actually fight on the inside and outside of mauling you? Like, if you maul him back in those clinches and all that stuff, then what will he do? Can he actually go in the phone booth and go trade for trade? That is actually not what he does, right? But that's also not what Usyk does, so it doesn't really matter. Usyk fights tall. That is the problem with Usyk. In the heavyweight division, period. The guy fights like he is the taller man. And when he goes up, and it's fine when you against these mid-sized guys or these old Chisores that's going to be 4 or 5 steps behind you to wing in those, those Frankenstein shots. But once you have a guy who can punch straight, who can move around with you, and can also who also will just fight tall and fights taller better than you do, and is actually taller than you are, and you have to go to that guy and take it from him because no one's going to give Usyk a fight if he's just going to be on the outer ropes against a Tyson Fury. They're going to assume that it's on Usyk to go get that belt, not just give it to him. I don't see what Usyk needs to become a guy. Like, not even Povetkin is an inside fighter, right? He needs to become like a Ruiz or a Kovnacki, like something like that, or Charles Martin, somebody that can bang it out with you on the inside. And I think
it never used to be.
He's not that.
Okay.
Years ago, it never used to be a problem. Real quick. Years ago, it never used to be a problem. Cruiserweights coming up into the heavyweight division and making a good count of themselves. But these days, the heavyweights are big fucking blokes, like big units. And you think that you can pop up from cruiserweight and fucking try and do some damage. I mean, you'll see what. I don't even think Usyk will ever fight fucking Fury or AJ ever. I don't think. I think he's just going to stick to guys like Dillian Whyte, Joseph Parker, and maybe win like a vacant a belt or something. I don't know.
So I'm gonna tell you this. I haven't got that long left. I got some messages from my friend who's watching the show on another through their Facebooks, and I want to end the show with stuff like this right now. I want everybody's prediction if they had $500 of what they would do with the next 5 fights for the end of the year, so I can end the show with this. And I'm going to go first with the fights of Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. If you had to put money, I want everybody's prediction, because I have gamblers who watch my site, and I want everybody, because I'm going to look at everybody's predictions when the fights are over, and whoever gets it exactly right out of us, the rounds, unanimous stoppage, then that shows that you guys have got a good eye for the sport. And I'm going to start with Kangaroo. Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois. How do you see this fight, and exactly break it down? If you was going to put money on it, who would you put it on?
Well, first things first. I've watched I've watched three or four Joe Joyce's fights. He goes well. Just a big lump. He makes a good account of himself. Daniel Dubois, up and coming heavyweight, future heavyweight champion, in my opinion. He's learning the game still. He's learning his craft.
So where's the money going?
My money will go on Daniel Dubois by stoppage.
Late rounds?
I'm actually calling early. I think he's going to be too quick, too powerful for Joe Joyce. He's going to come forward and he's going to put it on Joe Joyce, and it's going to show that Joe Joyce is probably not at that level. So
it's good. It's good money if you can call it early, but in England, it's not that much money if you call it late. So I'm going Daniel Dubois late stoppage. That's just my view. It might not come true, but that's just the way I'm seeing it, and we can see what happens after the fights. I'll invite everybody by email again. Okay. I'm gonna go to Jalik. How you break this down fight, bro?
Yeah,
if you got put money on it.
I got homeboy coming out there fast, and he might buzz Joe Joyce and hurt him. But I think Joe Joyce's resilience and ability to collect himself and his overall experience, because we seen he already fought Usyk, we seen he fought Filip Hrgovic, we seen that a lot of people say he beat Tony Yoka, so people sleeping on him. Now it's funny, he's a slowpoke, but the guy actually does, I forget what it's called. I'm sure y'all know he does the Brazilian martial arts. So he's like weird because he's athletic, but he's stiff. So I got Joe Joyce between like 9 and 10. 9 and 12 off attrition, because I got a feeling that Daniel Dubois is going to tire himself out, and then homeboy is going to use his weight, because Joe Joyce is big and strong. So I got Joe Joyce by TKO in an amazing fight.
Well, that's a lot of money on that. If that comes true, there's a lot of money that you can.
Right, I got Joe winning that fight, bro.
Yeah. Okay, the odds are great on that if you get that.
See, people don't realize he's fighting for the story of Joe Joyce. See, I look at the stories and look at the overall thing. I'll go deeper than that. He's fighting for it doesn't automatically mean you'll win, but when you fight for a purpose, it's deeper. His mom being blind,
which is why I told everybody in the beginning of the show.
Are y'all talking about that? His mom being blind.
Well, some people are telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good story. His mom.
But
he's got a good story.
Don't win fights sometimes. I like feelings don't win fights sometimes, right?
I got Joe Joyce winning, but talent-wise, I think dude is more talented. But just because you're more talented, that don't mean you're gonna win the fight.
Gotcha. All right, Joe
so
Joyce winning. Jalik, the leader's got Joe Joyce winning. There's a lot of money on that if you go with that. Hey, Smoke, break it down quick, man, on that fight, bro.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I think very quickly, judging off their last performances and really their last 3 performances, I'm gonna go with Joe Joyce round 7 through 10.
Okay.
We probably agree on something, Professor. Okay, shout out to Professor, my man.
All right, cool. Smoke. There's good money on that. Hey, Diages, give me the quick breakdown on the Daniel Dubois. And
Slow Joyce is gonna lose. Stoppage.
What round you got?
6 or 7.
Okay. Don't worry, the fight's gonna be done Saturday. Let's see who's the magician here. I'm going for Daniel Dubois, 9th round stoppage, or even the 8th, between that way. I can't see it going earlier than that. But
Daniel Dubois, 4th round knockout. Daniel Dubois.
Wow. Okay. If you can't, hey, listen, Kangaroo, I want your email address, right? Because if it comes true, bro, I'm inviting you to the show. So
4th round.
Send your email on my private chat. All right.
Yeah, but so nobody's got it going distance, and basically it's a toss up between who you're going to win. But it's basically the Kangaroo's the outlier with it being early.
No, because I agree with it. If Homeboy gonna win, it's gonna have to be early, because Homeboy is resilient and he started to get in the groove. And
Joe Joyce is a late comer. Joe Joyce is a late round sort of fighter. He will put it on you late,
bro.
Okay,
yeah,
so everyone's got their prediction on that. I'm going to the next fight because I'm putting money on all these fights. The next fight is going straight into it. I'm not going to go with these cards of Babik and all that, but Conor, benn, and Sebastian, whatever his surname is, dog.
Formella.
Yeah. Give me a quick breakdown. Let's not make it long. All right, come on, Kangaroo. How's this fight going?
I'm going to go Conor.
By
decision.
Okay,
Decision.
Unanimous decision.
Yep. I reckon he's going to win by decision.
This is a prediction league, man. If they all come true, bro, I might have to give you a prize or something. Yeah, Jalik.
I haven't seen too much of Conor, benn, but just based on the positioning of it, it looks like Formella is going to have to win by knockout just to get a decision. Like we said earlier, he's coming off a loss. So just based on just the look of it, benn should win, even if it's controversial, because Formella, he just lost a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, benn by decision.
Okay. And D. Hodges, you don't really know about this fight, right?
Don't know who they are, so I can't even say nothing.
Okay, just say decision then. D. Smoke.
Yeah, man. I got benn by decision through outworking him. Really.
Okay, I just want to make
aggression.
a bold prediction. Then, Smoke. I'm going for a stoppage. I know Sean Porter didn't do it, but I know some stuff in the inner circle, and I know what Conor Benn, who's been sparring with, and I know that there's some big boys, and he's been folding some guys. He's been taking this COVID energy out. So I believe I want to see. I want to see, because this is what I want. It probably won't happen, but I've got to make it exciting. I'm going for a 10th round or 9th round stoppage again.
Hey, listen, I don't think it's that bold.
I want to see a statement. I want to see a fucking statement, bro.
I don't think it's that bold. I think he can do it. Like Sean Porter, like I was saying earlier, was not sitting down on the shots. Even though he was hitting him clean.
There you go.
And he's coming off of a loss. So if you're hungry and you're trying to make a statement, this is basically the most experienced guy Conor Benn's been in with, right? This is a signature fight for him. He could be hungry. A stoppage isn't that bold a prediction.
And not only that, if he does that, at least there'll be a bit more noise about him, and he knows this. He knows this is his time to shine. But anyway, I'm gonna make that bold prediction. So Conor, don't let me down, Conor. I'm riding with you, bruv.
Come on, Conor. Come on.
Come on, Conor. Don't make me look. You know what I mean? I want you to do this so I can come back on the show and I can just show them that you're the real deal. Apart from that, we're going to go straight to Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. Break it down, Smokes. We're going to use Smokes. Break that shit down.
That's going to be a nice...
The money's going everywhere now.
Okay, yeah, man. I think it's going to go to a decision. And I think it's going to be like 8-4 for Spence. He's going to beat him up to the body, to the head. He's going to take some of those Danny Garcia left hooks and right hands. It's going to be a hell of a fight that he wins 4 rounds in.
Man, that's a great prediction, bro. You can't even go against that because you got to give Danny Garcia a chance to win a few rounds in there. He's a dog. And you broke it down like 70-30 in there, Okay. Jalik, break it down, Jalik.
Oh, you said Earl versus Danny?
Yes, bro. I want to know exactly how the prediction goes. If you're putting money on the fight, you're putting money on the fight, bro.
Oh, easy work. 9-3 or 10-2, Earl. And if he consistently goes to the body, I think he can get a late TKO, but I got it like 10-2, 9-3. It's going to look like Mikey Garcia, but probably worse.
Wow. Okay. Bold prediction. Hey, Kangaroo, give me that prediction.
I'm going Danny Garcia by stoppage.
Whoa!
8th round. 8th round.
If that happens, I would give him his props, but I don't.
I gotta give him some props because that's a bold prediction.
8th round. 8th round. Spencer's very cocky. I think he's going to come in and he's going to be. Let's just say he's going to come in. He's not going to. He's going to think he's the best thing the world's ever created, and Danny Garcia is going to put it on him. And you'll see 8th round stoppage. Garcia. Come on, Garcia. Come on, son.
Holy shit! The money's big. You can win so much money on that. It's crazy. That's mad. Don't listen to this guy if you're betting your house on it. I don't know him. I only met him today. I don't even fucking know who this fucker is, dog. So,
disclaimer.
Hey, listen. You have to find him in his own channel if you lose your money. Don't come here. Hey, D. Hodges, break that shit down, D. Hodges.
Knockout Errol by 7 or 8.
Oh.
Errol's gonna knock him out. Watch, he's gonna spark him because he had so much problems with Porter, and Errol is just as aggressive as Porter, but he punched way harder. If Porter had more power, he could have probably got Danny out there, but Porter really don't got no power like that Errol power. But we got to see, it might be, who knows, he had a car accident, but I still see him knocking him out. That's just my opinion. Knock Errol.
Early or late?
7,
early
8
or late?
Knockout Errol.
Early or late, bro?
Say about 7 or 8.
Okay.
But it's going to be a knockout. It's not going to decision. It's going to be a knockout.
Yeah, I mean, don't put your money on this guy. I mean, I don't know who Diodges is. Don't come back here. No, I'm joking. Hey, Diodges, that's a bold statement. Nobody's
I don't know.
Nobody's ever stopped Danny Garcia, bro.
I don't know. I just I don't see too. I mean, he has a left hook, but if Errol, he can easily stay away from that left hook. When you fight Errol, you got to worry about your body and your head. Because when you think Errol's going to the body, he'll go upstairs. You think he's going upstairs, to the body. Told you, Errol could knock you out with a body blow. You see what he did to Ocampo, one to the body. Oof.
Yeah.
Nobody's accused of Campo of being Danny Garcia. And I would say also, not only the left hook, but Errol's coming from southpaw position, and Danny Garcia has one hell of a well-timed straight right hand.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a good fight, but I still got Errol by knockout. But I know it's not gonna be a wash though. But I just think he's gonna slip up and Errol's gonna catch him.
But the Smoke made a right point. Everybody's sleeping on this guy's right hand. He's got just as much. He's got a powerful right hand, Danny Garcia, and he can counter people too, bro. But yeah, for sure, man. That's your prediction.
Only one, in my opinion, call me biased. The only one I see being Errol is my bud. Other than that, I don't see nobody else beating him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go straight to Anthony Joshua and that's December the 12th, isn't it?
Correct.
AJ's gonna spot Pulev.
Yeah, that's a tune-up fight.
Yeah, that's the 7th round. I'm going 7th round knockout, bro, or 8th round knockout.
You need to make a statement, bro.
That's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm saying this shit.
Because he ain't had a knockout since Povetkin, right? So that was 2 years ago since he had a knockout. So
Pulev is not on his level at all, bro.
Nah, I'm going against the grain. I don't think Pulev is going to give him what it takes to knock him out, and I don't think that AJ is going to be that aggressive to try to go for the knockout. I think he's going to play it safe, the same way he did with Parker, and the same way he did it at Ruiz rematch. When he tried to put his finger on the gas and take a chance, he wound up on his ass. I think it's going to the cards, and it'll be something like 119, 111 kind of thing, right?
Okay. So, but that's boring for me. I want to see a stoppage, bro. I want to see a stoppage in this fight, and I believe the ref might come in and stop it if Anthony Joshua can just, put some hurt on this Pulev. The ref will just come in and stop it. So even if it's not a knockdown and it's a stoppage where the ref comes and stop it, then I'm good with that as well. Jalik, what do you think, bro?
AJ gonna stop him. AJ probably stopping between like 6 and 10. His body shots gonna hurt Pulev, his body shots going and his combination punching. AJ knockout, he's gonna get his swag back even more, and then the hype around his name going even better. Even though he dominated Ruiz, it wasn't a knockout. It's about entertainment too. So it's going to be very interesting.
Cool.
I'm not mad at. Sorry, go ahead. Kangaroo, I don't think he gave his.
I'm going Anthony Joshua 2nd round stoppage.
If this guy is correct, bro, I'm gonna be like, bro. Anytime I bet, what's your name again, my man?
My name's Joshua. That's my real name, Joshua.
If you come correct with that one, you said 4 rounds, which now I can see that's more reasonable. And then you said some stuff on here. You said
4 rounds on Joyce, the Juggernaut, right? He's just gonna piece up the Juggernaut like he's an amateur. Like he's not even. They're not even on the same level on the amateur status, right? But anyway, I just got a quick question about Pulev, right? Because I could see a knockout, right? Because Pulev does come forward and you could use his momentum against him and all that stuff, right? But do you guys think that Carlos Takam is tougher than Pulev?
Oh yeah.
That's a good question. Because Pulev, who he lost to? Klitschko? And Pulev, I don't know.
And Povetkin.
Oh, Pulev lost to Povetkin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Takam lost to Chisora.
And Parker. And Chisora, Takam is and AJ. Takam is like, he's Euro level, really.
Yeah, Takam is he a gatekeeper.
All right, next fight. What's the next fight?
The only next one is after that is Canelo and Callum Smith, which I'm gonna go again, man. I don't want to say these things. I'm from England, man, but he's gonna stop Callum Smith. He's gonna stop him, bro. I got a feeling Canelo's gonna stop him.
You got him knocking him. Okay.
No, because you know what it is. Callum Smith's body is well exposed to him. He's tall. We know what Canelo can do to the body. He's got a granite chin. He's a fucking, Canelo can fucking deal with styles which are bigger than him, bro. I just can't see. I'm trying to put the path for Callum Smith. I'm trying to see if he can jab him, stay long, outbox him, or set traps up when Canelo's trying to come to the body and the head and try and stay back and set his own traps up. But But Canelo seems to always work people out who are even bigger than him, bro. And especially with Callum Smith, I can see that Canelo might get him to the body. For some reason, even if it's a unanimous decision, I'd rather have that. But I just got a feeling it could be a stoppage to the body. But anyway, let's go to Kangaroo.
I'm going Canelo stoppage 9th round. Okay. I can't see Smith. I've tried to give an avenue in my own head as well, with him being lanky, try and stay on the outside, use a jab, play around a bit, try and get an opening. But as you said, Canelo is a veteran. He's a very smart fighter. He ain't going to lose to him. So Canelo 9th round stoppage.
Khalid.
See, if it's a rehydration clause, then definitely Canelo stoppage. Now, if it's not a rehydration clause, because I know dude is having some challenges with his weight, I see Canelo 7-5, and some people might call it a draw or something, but Canelo about 7-5 in the UD without a rehydration clause. The thing dude has to work on, he got to really be pumping his jab, and he should be working on some uppercuts. The uppercuts been knocking people out. Canelo got a good chin, but let him get hit with a nice uppercut that Tank landed on Cruz, and those all those knockouts of the year was from uppercuts. So Canelo can be beat, bro. So we'll see what's up with Smith.
Hey, Diages, let me know what you're feeling about Canelo and Callum Smith.
Okay. What do you say? What you say now, bro?
Canelo and Callum Smith.
Wow, that's a stupid one. Of course, Canelo.
December,
Callum's a bum. Callum's a bum. I'm sorry.
Hey,
no
defense. Don't say bum, please.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My fault. My fault.
All right.
He's not my fault. I'm sorry. I got to get out of saying that though. I really, because I said, you're right, bro. Ain't no fighter.
What I'm saying is,
I know. I got you, bro. My fault.
Is it a stoppage or is it a decision?
Because he's rubbish. Can I call him rubbish? Callum Smith is rubbish.
You can just say low opposition, or you can just say he's not that great.
Trash is not that bad, but I don't see he has the skill set for Canelo. That's it. Knockout Canelo.
Okay. So you see a stoppage. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. No defense. You can't get hit too much with Canelo. Canelo punches hard. I don't give people a chance that use their face for defense.
Right. Got you. I mean, look, I hear you, man. It is what it is. Now, Smoke, break down the round and what you're saying, or is it a decision?
I got a 6-round stoppage. I tell you, and it's really because of the toughness. It could go 4. It could go 5. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5-round stoppage.
Big puncher, bro. When did he become?
He doesn't have to be a big puncher.
But
dude, have to, here's the thing about Canelo. He has enough power to separate a guy from his senses, right? He's done it to more than one guy in multiple different weight classes.
Name a top guy he knocked out.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Name a top guy that he knocked out.
His last fight was against a top guy he knocked out.
With a rehydration clause. That's what I'm saying. If it's a rehydration clause, yeah, but without a rehydration clause.
Okay, regardless, the reason why he got knocked out wasn't because of a rehydration clause.
But what I'm trying to say, but you saying it in
first off, Kovalev came in the same way he always comes in at.
And he had just almost got knocked out. I'm talking about, he ain't no big puncher like that, bro.
I mean, but I just answered your question, right? His very last fight was against the top guy. He locked out, and that was at a higher weight class.
4 rounds, bro? Come on, bro.
I said 5.
I said 5 rounds. 5 rounds. Yes.
Callum Smith has not shown that he's going to be able to take Canelo's left hook to the body.
He's not going to be able to do Rocky, bro. You getting him mixed up with Rocky Fielding, bro. He ain't Rocky.
No, I'm not getting him mixed up with Rocky Fielding.
I think
Look, knock Rocky Fielding out.
I'm going to invite Smoke after this fight. I don't think he's. I think, mate. Look, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
And when the fight's finished, we'll see how it goes. But everybody got their opinion, Jaleel.
Yeah. So I think he's going to beat him up to the body and the head. I don't think that Rocky Fielding has either the reflexes to actually give Canelo trouble. Like, he has a good jab, but the way that he jabs, like his own motion, his mechanics, it's all wrong for Canelo. Canelo is a better athlete, a smarter fighter, and a better fighter, and probably a bigger puncher.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it really goes. I mean,
to top it off, just for a bit of fantasy fun, Babbage, the Savage, Tom Little, who wins?
That's a third round knockout.
Y'all forgetting about the next Cinco de Mayo guy, Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. That's
not happening.
That
fight's not happening, right?
I think it's December the 26th. It got rescheduled.
Are you sure on Box
That's
Rec
what I think so, yeah, I think it got rescheduled to the.
I haven't heard nobody telling me that yet. Are you sure?
That was the rumors. It's not official yet, but that's what, if you go on Twitter and things like that, I think it's being pushed back because of the situation with, Eddie Hearn. He pulled off the heist of the year, bro. That was a clever movie done with getting Canelo, bro. That was some James Bond type stuff, bro.
Not really. They were talking about this fight last year.
Huh?
We've been talking about this fight.
What?
Smith versus Canelo. They said it already fell through.
The context of it.
This fight, Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant have been in the works for like the better part of the year.
I'm talking about the context of how it happened. Remember, he also works for DAZN. So he had to play the role of a guy that works at DAZN and also as a promoter. That's why it was like he was working a double agent. And then not only that, for them to sever ties, and then his first fight back also works on DAZN. So he pulled off a clever move to be able to allow Canelo to, free himself up. So and also free up DAZN for money. That's why I was saying it's clever in that context, and still be up Canelo to help him sell overseas in the UK and whatever else DAZN is launching into all these extra countries.
Who said he's spending that money? Like, Canelo, the reason why he was talking about Caleb Plant, I thought was about the money, right? He was complaining about his own money. So it stands to reason that they got his money right. And really, this fight could have happened on the only person who seems like who isn't getting paid is now Oscar, right?
Exactly.
And for whatever reason, Oscar, but that's not Eddie Hearn being clever. That's just Eddie Hearn representing the guy.
Bro.
Let me just finish. Let me just finish. I got it. Can you understand that I'm still talking? Eddie Hearn was the guy representing Callum Smith the entire time. He has a belt at 168. If Canelo wants to be a champion at 168, he has to deal with either Eddie Hearn or PBC. That's it.
Rap Star, I appreciate you having me on there. Shout out to everybody on the panel, bro. I just subscribed to you, Rap Star. I know you was on my joint not too long ago. I just subscribed to you, man.
Yeah, send me your email on the private chat, bro.
On a private chat? Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I can just send you a link or something. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah. And also Kangaroo. Is he gone?
I think he left, yeah. I just sent it to you. JalikTheLeader@gmail, bro.
All right. Yeah, man. Nice having you on there, bro, today.
All right, bro. Thank everybody in the chat, too, in the panel, man. Peace out.
Good to meet you, my brother.
All right, nice meeting you, bro. All right, Professor, bro. We never see we was almost there this day, and you don't understand what a double agent is. But I'm gonna teach you. I'll teach you on the Hangouts, bro.
You don't understand that all there is in boxing is you only have so many avenues, man. Like, listen, it's all good. It's all good. It's Jalik and I. See, just a little bit of background. Jalik and I got a couple bets going on that he's losing right now, and so now he feels some kind of way about it.
I didn't know. We don't know about them things. Though.
Yeah, exactly. It don't even matter. It's on some other stuff.
Well, you know what though, guys. Thanks for joining me in London. You know, we had a little show over here, and sometimes we start with a show, we don't know where we end up with a conversation, and it happens on everybody's show. We end up talking about boxing, and we could go into any kind of a place in the conversation, we just don't know where we end up in it. You know what I mean? On that show, it's crazy. We start somewhere and we end up anywhere. You know what I mean?
That's what makes your show interesting.
Yeah, because we just don't know how to predict it, and it's great because right now I gotta tell you, man, the end of the year's coming up, and I don't know about you guys, but while we're locked down, at least boxing keeps us passionate when the fights are coming on. You know what I mean?
You know what else I like about your show before you go, bro?
Yeah.
We know how to get along on this channel. You don't really hear, so far since I've been here, I haven't heard no arguing and, everybody calling people bad words. I really like that about your show because you go to these other shows, people be saying bad swears to people and people like, yeah, I'm going to come and see you. And he's in Tennessee and he's in California talking about, yeah, when I see you, I'm going to beat you up.
Man, no motherfuckers. Nobody's seeing nobody, Diages.
That's what I mean. Bullshit. But your show is like mad peaceful. We don't even argue. Your show, your panel is very respectful. We don't even talk over each other. We let everybody talk. That's very rare to see. And believe me, I'm on many channels. I'm LDBC, so I'm on a bunch of panels. People invite me to their panel, but I could truly say we let each other talk. Like your panel is very respectful, and I love it, bro. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And you go enjoy your day, and I'll be back when you're on again. Let me go see who else is on.
We'll be back on soon, man. And Smoke, nice for coming on, bro.
All right. Have a good day, Rapstar. Have a good day, Smoke. I'll be back. LDB salute, family.
Hey, Rap. First to enter, last to leave. Great discussion. Sorry if I got sharp elbows, but
minor.
It's
that's
definitely
minor.
lively, right?
Yes, minor, fam. Minor.
Yeah. Until next time, I'll either be in the chat or I'll catch you on the replay.
And plus I got everybody's predictions anyway. So once these predictions come true, we'll see how who's the closest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Peace out, man.
At your foundry and peace, man.
Peace. Hey, thanks for the chat, man. Thanks for everybody coming in today, bro. I mean, I really appreciate all ladies and gentlemen, all my boxing family, everybody who tuned in. I gotta appreciate everybody who subscribed. Just please press the like button. Don't forget to smash that like button. Make love to the like button. And, press the notification button. It'll let you know when WBK is back online. Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. We're doing this straight from London, reaching out an audience from everywhere. And all we do, we talk about boxing, and we start up the show, which was Conor Benn. We started up with what we're going to see with Conor Benn. Is he going to, step up to the lights? Is he going to, do something better than what Sean Porter did with the opponent, what he's facing this Saturday? And then the boxing just went everywhere else, man. We went into some great conversations today, and we spoke about some amazing heavyweights. I'm glad everybody tuned in. Peace out to the chat, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace out.